language.
So smart. Let's look at our map bans here. And also, I'll focus on one thing. Bride is such an underrated player. In my opinion, the best French support ever to touch this game.
A really good support like
that. The best Thermite player that has ever graced the game from France. And Bride is so underrated. Can't wait to see more of him, maybe at the Major. Here's our maps. Of course, the ones that are highlighted in red, with their name as well in red, are banned.
Yeah, we're doing ban, pick.
Exactly.
Ban,
pick. And then bam.
Yeah. So Coastline is going to be the first pick, and then Villa.
Okay.
Ooh, that is such a risk allowing that through. Really, Villa should have been one of the maybe the first ban coming out from forZe, because Villa has been a much stronger map for Vitality through these qualifiers than Bank has.
Yeah.
They've won 4 times on Villa. However, okay, this is the worst part. Sorry, let me finish.
Please.
The match that they played against each other was also on Villa.
Yes.
So that should be interesting.
I'm kind of surprised to see these maps because, again, for people that have not checked this out, I highly recommend you go and check out the bracket on Wikipedia or even our socials. But, forZe Vitality, they played Cafe Dostoyevsky. forZe beat Vitality 8-6. It's a close game no matter what. Let's take a look at what you guys think in the meantime. 7-4 for Vitality on Villa, and then 7-3 for forZe on Clubhouse. The game was very tight, and you see the French fans are showing up with 75% to forZe. I think a lot of people don't know and underrate forZe.
Well, I mean, it's a lot of people haven't necessarily seen the qualifiers. Like, they've been kind of spread around in terms of where you can watch them, and obviously only these finals here are on this channel, so a lot of people just literally don't know. Vitality's been around for a while. Plenty of people have seen how they play. But Border, one of the more underplayed maps besides Bank here so far in the qualifiers between these two teams. So it should be interesting to see how this goes. So far, forZe have not shown it during the qualifiers, whereas Vitality played it once and lost it. So I can understand why forZe would go with the pick on that. But they lost it versus Na'Vi, and ultimately they came out victorious against Na'Vi. So
Na'Vi also is not a team to be underestimated at all. So yeah, okay, they lost to Na'Vi, but on this map specifically, but that's kind of okay. And if you look at the maps, Vitality played Na'Vi. They didn't play Border. They played Villa. That was a Vitality win for them. Constant Cafe was played between them.
Ooh, Capitao. Oh no, we lost Bride already.
I assume
the support is gone now.
I assume we will continue on with...
yeah, we may finish the bans before we rehost.
Yeah. So, Mira... Okay, forZe are so predictable. They always ban Mira. So, no one ever has to ban Mira against them. They will do it themselves. If you're a coach or aspiring to be a coach, this is what you're kind of listening to.
It was like that with Secret for a while, right? Where you just pretty much rely on them banning it. Let's see if they're going to go ahead and finish the pick, though, before we do that rehost.
We will.
Echo? All right. No surprise. The Nomad pick, I think, is the more interesting one, but this is also a map where Nomad is very strong, especially on the top floor. So I'm not terribly surprised that Vitality would want to go for that.
Vitality. What did they play as well? So they played Gamer Legion earlier on. It was a pretty decent team. They're coached by Morxos.
Yeah, it didn't make it all the way to a third map, though, unfortunately. It was a 2-0.
Yeah. I want to correct myself because you mentioned I was looking at the Na'Vi Vitality from the upper bracket. But
there was 2 Na'Vi Vitality matches.
So they replayed against one another, as you saw as well in the bracket that we showed. They played Border in 7-3 for Na'Vi, and Na'Vi they function really well on this map. The same bans we're starting to see from Vitality. It's also one of those bans is always predictable for Vitality. They always ban an Echo. forZe always ban a Mira. You look at these operators, and you should be able to predict what will come later. And forZe, more often than not, are removing either Habana or a Capitao. It really depends on the map that they're playing on. Sometimes there'll be a Maverick, but that's for very specific map like Cafe or like Clubhouse. And a Maverick ban on Cafe is actually odd. We haven't really seen much of that.
Yeah, you don't really need to worry about that too much. I mean, we have seen some of the play in Bakery sometimes be really interesting with the Mavericks to try and set up peak angles and things like that. Because that big open area that is behind the counter, a lot of people will thermite it and things like that. But people can go for tricking on it. But also at the same time, you don't always want to completely open it up and open yourself up to a lot of angles that could be playing inside the kitchen. So, being able to set up some peak holes, give yourself potentially advantageous angles, is not a bad idea.
More often than not, those thermite holes are opened up later in the round before your assault.
Once you soften them up.
Exactly. It just takes you a while to get to it because usually there's something blocking it from behind. It's not the first wall you destroy.
Hopefully we'll see Cafe, but we're not going to see it in this matchup between these guys because the decider's Clubhouse, so that's not going to be happening. But I imagine there's a good chance we could see Cafe come in during the Chaos match.
I would expect Coast, Cafe, and well, Coast Cafe.
It depends. It
Consulate.
depends on who this goes forward.
Yeah,
So.
and I think if it's Vitality, Coast Cafe, Consulate, or Clubhouse, definitely be up there. I expect that. We're going to go back into the game and actually start it up here as our operator bans have been completed. We'll focus on border a bit more. So, operator-wise, we already have the ones that are banned out. Vitality is starting on the defense, which is...
Yeah, and their attacks on border were definitely a joy to watch before they got relegated down when they would do that like last 10-second push sort of thing. They were very good at executing on the top floor. It was something that was like a big strength for them. And now with the Echo ban, of course, that is something they can push a little stronger. But they're actually are they gonna actually bring that clash?
I would love to see that clash.
No, I didn't think so.
Wouldn't be the case. We're going to move on to a castle because they're playing Bathroom Tellers. This is Vitality, literally the first team
Second
ever.
team, I think, because they played it right after Millennium. Who did that first?
Vitality ran it before Millennium.
In Pro League?
Attackers need to locate
Or maybe it was in
French Nationals.
It was French Nationals. Okay.
French Nationals, Vitality was the first.
Yeah, Millennium was the first one to do it in Pro League.
Yeah, and Vitality ran it consistently.
Yeah.
In Pro League or in French Nationals, and it worked out fine. So watching the way they play on Bathroom Tellers is always a treat, especially when it works out. But they have had much better results on this side than most teams playing.
Yeah, those are the only two teams that I've seen really succeed on it very well. It was definitely a French site, basically. But that was back when both of those teams were French only as well. So it makes sense why it would be debuting the French Nationals as well. He still has one armor panel left here to set up, but the castle is definitely a key part of this strategy. Being able to lock out that office area as long as possible is very important, because the longer you can do that, the more chance that they're not going to be able to push very well down into the actual bathroom area downstairs through tellers. So we'll see Spark setting up some angles here ahead of time. Not sure if he got it exactly the way he wanted, but the TV was in the way. I like the attempt at the preparation there, but he has to completely redo it. Luckily, he's not going to get pushed early, so he still has time to set that up, which is not a big deal. But in the meantime, there's droning happening, and they're going to get some idea how to push this. Now they're going to know where the site is as well. So hopefully they have the utility need for it. But this lineup is pretty much flexible to do whatever it needs. So you got soft destruction, you got hard destruction, you got Thatcher. They don't really need anything special, especially since Vitality's not bringing anything that really needs a direct counter necessarily.
Well, and in general in Pro League, and especially in EU, we haven't really seen much border.
Oh, this angle here. He's going for a different down the chimney angle.
That's a long dive. It just hits a bandit if he's sitting by.
I like how he doesn't have to depend on the bounce, though. I like that angle. It took a little longer to set up, but it definitely works a little more consistently.
And in this case, forZe just kind of open things up at a minute 50, and you already have control.
Ooh,
and here's a
that
kill.
one hits.
Ooh, Bibu with a grenade landing right on top of his head. You even see the edge, I believe, the castle there in the back. Won't take any damage on a deletion.
Ooh, Rask already in.
Yeah, he's just in control of things. This is why you bring so much soft destruction between the Ashe and the Zofia. At least you have the Thermite to work through things for hard breaches.
Yeah, the castle barricade is obviously not going to be long for this world with both those soft breachers like that. But there we go. There goes Sticky as well. So Vitality completely losing control here to an extent. I mean, they're not totally controlling the room because they need to take out Fountain as well. But this is a really good start with a minute left.
Should be able to drone this through, and the drone finally
Oh,
comes in. Oh, Rask, what are you looking out for? Qual will find a kill and the drone as well. The Ashe taken away without her using any of her utility. Kemo will find Spark, and Qual with another one. The double kill, can he go for a triple? Yes, he can! Qual up close for a next one, but he's going to fall back. Should have a Nitro Cell still in the back pocket as Bride is playing the smoke. He's already dropped on down close to his teammate Qual. And again, because you're playing Bathroom Tellers, holding on to the top floor as long as you can is the play. But in this case, Vitality burned so much time away, and they've left two very important operators. Oh, there's only barbed wire around here by Qual, so...
All right. That's a lot of barbed wire then.
It's an oddity, to say the least, but Bride is going to use his smokes. At 20 seconds, it's the time to start and set them up. Qual will start moving in close to Tellers. He's now right outside of the wall that has already been impacted. Qual will move on in to have a better angle from Tellers, and Bride, he can hear it away. The clock is going to go for it, and that's Bride with one. Shotgun in the second. Shangri It's going to go to Shangri-La at the end of this.
What a comeback from Vitality. Just the inability of forZe to be able to take complete control of Fountain, especially at first, just totally threw them off at that point. The comeback in terms of the peaks, it's like once they lost Ashe, they didn't seem to have much of a spearhead anymore, and all of a sudden they were in compromised positions because they'd been setting up around the site. And the entire time they were doing that, they weren't necessarily pressuring hard enough on Vitality. So as soon as that Ashe went down, they just started pressuring back, and they knew exactly where they were positioned, where it didn't seem like forZe either didn't have enough information on their position, like the Ashe who just walked in a little bit blind on Fountain, or just the way that they were trying to play against Archives as well. Just did not have the intel to play it correctly, and Vitality just having a full advantage there, and just good fast peaks as well, taking advantage of that, winning a lot of gunfights, and then being able to rotate down with 2 left alive like that and forcing time on them definitely worked out. I mean, it was good, obviously, that they happened to be in sight when that plant went down as well, because trying to come approach that and counter that if you didn't have the right angle actually could have been pretty difficult depending on how they were holding the hatch. But Qual and Brede, though, we talked about the support from Brede, and you saw it the last 2 kills of the round, but Qual was really the one that took out the majority of the team and set that up for Brede to be able to finish the job.
It was all of a mistake. The Ashe went in to the offices area, and then
check your corners.
There was no drone. There was no drone. You know there's somebody that should be there, but move.
You were just fighting him, I thought, a second ago.
Have a drone right in front of you. That was the biggest mistake done by forZe, and Vitality will pounce on any advantage you can give them.
Yeah, absolutely. That is definitely something that's going to work out for them here, and they are going to go for a defense in Armory Archives, or I mean, Armory Archives, but they're not reinforcing the full wall, it looks like, which is an interesting choice, something we see occasionally being done. They also have the Clash, though, for reals this time, so that may even help with that, because you leave the wall soft, you can pressure them back so they can't really get a good setup, and then the Clash will help you be able to peek that safely, and also help keep pressure off of half wall by being able to kind of stand in front of it, which can even potentially block grenades and some other things from getting through. But they're bringing the same utility as last time, which worked out pretty well until they started losing gunfights towards the end. Looks like they could be going for an office's take, though, instead, considering here the thermite going off and the buck set up for it. So they've decided that soft wall not something they want to deal with on Armory.
You can pinch and attack in 2 different ways, really, either coming in from the Armory door or from the back here from offices. There's a lot of soft walls that have been set up by Vitality in this position, which is definitely an oddity if you look at it from the outside, but having the Clash and soft walls confuses teams more often than not. Like, okay, what do we do against this? Because this is not really the usual. Another team that does this, similar to what Vitality is running right now, is Penta. And they haven't been too successful in the bracket, so, well, they're out, basically.
Yeah, so they have not been successful. Ooh, speaking of successful, though, that's Brede going down early, and probably a C4 off the board, I imagine. And 2 grenades still left in the pocket of Shangri-La.
Spark taken away, and that's a Nitro Cell as well, being thrown right into the buck. Will not connect, unfortunately, but he's still playing in the back. Will get tagged and dropped in. Shot in the leg, but he'll survive for just a bit more. Qual eliminated. Thanks to the duo of Qual and Zofia, quite probably. Shockwave. Bide's still on the floor, and Bide's
have a
trying to
dog.
revive.
Yeah.
He needs to get in position. He's so far away, still playing inside of the armory, or inside of the CCTV area. Bibu might try to rotate back now, but there's nobody there, and most of the setup from forZe has gone the way of the office. And Kama will go into the archives to plant, and Sticky can't really find an angle on him. forZe just shut things down for Vitality, a flawless round for the Russians.
What a great round for Shangri as well, just playing that window the whole time and doing serious work from it, just completely shutting down their attempt at a retake. Obviously, Brede being down inside there was not helping, especially since it probably drew attention for Bibu because he had to worry about CCTV, but also I'm sure he's getting calls out to come heal his teammate. So that divided focus definitely not helping. They did at least try and fight the window a little bit, but that lost fight is obviously what cost them the round. Still, though, a great attempt. And, of course, as usual for Vitality, they will switch sites regardless of win or loss. That is their MO and works, but it's going to be predictable. So forZe are going to know they're going to be going to a different site. But, again, they don't change up their lineup, so it doesn't seem to matter. And the Pulse going to come out instead of the Alibi they're teasing, but the Mozzie will also be coming out. So they'll have some good intel between the Pulse and the Maestro, and then some good counter intel from the Mozzie. People do a bit of denial, bringing that instead of any kind of mute this time. But I like the choices here. And they'll also have a couple C4s. Hopefully Qual switches over to C4. I don't know if it's really worth going for barbed wire, especially when you're playing down below. you can get a lot more benefit out of C4 when people are above you, especially if you have a pulse to be able to call out for when he's used his C4 to have Qual use his. So hopefully Qual made that switch. If not, I guess at least they'll try and slow them down on the entry, but still, I mean, you have the Jaeger if you need some barbed wire. It looks like Maestro bringing barbed wire as well, so there's really no reason for the Bandit to have it if he does, so we can take a look at him at some point here and find out. One Evil Eye left to set up as well. They're trying to decide whether or not to keep that hatch soft, but nope, it's going to be hard. And it looks like they're trying to deny the archives for a while there. You got the battery set up on the wall. Of course, that is part of the importance of this defense, is holding archives as long as you, I mean, armories and archives as long as you can. A lot of times the attack will come in through archives and office though, which makes sense why they have that reinforcement and battery there. Slow it down as much as possible, but Rask, being as aggressive as he is, I could see him going for an early clear of CCTV and then trying to enter sooner rather than later inside of Armory if they don't keep a two-man defense in there.
That's an interesting Claymore setup here, but it's actually more mind-boggling for the defense than you'd imagine, because you're not really expecting a Claymore in that
it's
position.
total mind game Claymore.
Yeah, I mean, it breaks the meta, basically, because you're not expecting to have anything there. It's usually the one tiny bit of the laser poking out. Ooh. Shockwave will poke out into Spark. All right, a free kill to eliminate the Pulse.
It's not just taking the C4 off the board, it's the assistance for the other C4s. So that's a big early pick.
I'm not sure what Spark was doing or which position he was rotating away from. The Mozzie close to capturing a charge there, or drone. You'll see the Zofia using her lifelines. 2 explosive ones being used to eliminate utility. And there the Evil Eye was eliminated. There's still one more on the opposite end by the Armory entrance.
And that's the important thing is Thatcher can't afford to waste too many on batteries because he's going to need to save some to take out those Evil Eyes. So it's like a question of does he use them on this wall, for example, and help the push here from Ash, or do they just focus entirely on pressuring from this side like they are right now with the move in from Archives? And there's another one being used. That's the last one. So hopefully they did enough damage with those. But speaking of damage,
Bibu will take away one, and he's close to dropping away, but he'll be eliminated by Rask. Very well done by Rask's move in from there, but he's taken off by Qual. Qual is actually dropped on the floor, and Kama will take the kill. Conceded. And Bride firing in to Shangri on the bug, but Stiggy actually is going to go for the big play, come in from behind. Vitality need to have the calls all correctly laid out for the Jaeger here, and he has the Evil Eye to give him info on where his opponents are, but not no more. Buck will run right into Stiggy. He'll get one kill. And now it's a 2v2 with top floor control. And could, oh no, Vitality lose it! Vitality had,
his position was revealed with that kill.
Unfortunately, he went for the peak, and it was an easy kill for the Thermite. Well, not really an easy one, but a predictable position for him to look down. Stiggy might have gone a bit too aggressive.
If he'd been able to get 2 for that, it totally would have been worth it, though.
Exactly. Unfortunate that the drop from forZe happened a bit before. Bride does not have a Nitro Cell. He'll have to fight it with the P10 Roni, and he looks away at the wrong moment. Kama runs in as he gets down. Bride in the 1v1, low on HP. He's going to try to waste time here for Call as he rocks right into the Mozzie, and Bride loses the gunfight. forZe set another round on the board.
Bride seems to be pivotal in these, whether it's to finish the round or to get downed early and then be important in forZe winning the round. It seems to be just kind of a pivotal player, as you said, a critical support player. But forZe, though, got actually pretty close to losing that, despite a good man advantage, just because Bride was able to actually fight back fairly well downstairs. We'll be going back to Armory now. They could go back to Teller's, the one site that they won, but maybe they're just considering that more of a surprise defense, and that's part of the reason they took it. But again, with the clash, see if they go with the same softball defense. So if you do that again, though, you got to expect forZe probably will again run with an offices take that worked for them the previous time. But maybe you can hide someone in Fountain again if you're lucky. That was definitely something that I can't see them getting away with twice. But they will have a different lineup. They're gonna have the. Well, no, I think it's actually, maybe it's the same lineup now that I think about it. But either way, definitely the attack lineup exactly the same.
Yeah, there's no way. This is the only part that's reminiscent of Empire, is that you won't be seeing much flexibility on different operators. The only odd...
Attack, you don't necessarily need it.
Yeah, and on this map specifically, like, okay, you need one Heart Breach, but you see the play from forZe here is to run two operators that play the flanks. So you have the Ashe that does that, the Zofia as well, and they can stun lock people in position, get kills off of them, and they rely on efficient droning. Once you have that set, forZe can definitely get it done. Vitality are a lot more structured.
Yeah.
However.
I think Shangri, though, is an important key part of that as well. He's got some nice attempt there. Good use of the ACOG and doing a bit of damage. You were just talking about the importance of Shockwave on that entry, and now he's going to be down low on health, so his entry is going to be a little bit riskier for him, which means he has to play a little more carefully, and that puts a lot more work on Rask.
I love this from Bride. You know that they're going to be attacking office. This is what they're doing most of the time here, forZe. So what do? You set an Evil Eye in a position where they will not expect it at all.
It is a little odd for him to save both in his pocket till after, but at the same time, didn't want them droned out, so fair enough. Just hopefully he doesn't get killed before he finishes setting that second one.
So now the second set of thermite, well, second bit of thermite charge is going to be used on the office wall looking into archive, and that's where it can get zapped, and that can change the whole thing. Watch my words, because that might actually.
Is there subtitles on?
It's just incomprehensible.
Oh boy.
All right, forZe will drone, and of course this position has been brought back for people that don't know. Trade a bit of HP, and it just works out well for you. It's been back for...
Oh no, the angle!
Ah, perfect. It was spotted. The EMP turned it off. The grenade's going to be thrown away, but it's only going to catch one of those Evil Eyes, and fortunate for Bride is that he's going to keep his Evil Eye up for just a bit more. At least what this is doing is burning time away from forZe, but the also important Evil Eye has been spotted.
Yeah, taking out this clash here is going to be the important part of this. Luckily, they'll be able to open the wall here, and that'll open a flank because they can pressure from the door and the wall.
Evil Eye is still there.
Now the wall. It was the angle of it. They couldn't shoot the front of it without going prone inside the middle of office.
It's still there, but when they were opening up the wall, I'm like, oh no, he's going to turn around and snipe it. But no, it wasn't really the play for Vitality. I'd like to save it maybe for later. Doesn't really make too much sense as Bride still has an Evil Eye on the B bomb site. I'm not sure if the grenade was able to catch it.
Vitality are nearly full health too against 4 here, and one of those is at half health.
There's not a ton of time left here for forZe, but they're planning things around. And they might have the thermite move in. Call will find the kill on Bride. Tap here with the Maestro. So low on HP, just getting sprayed through the wall, and they actually drop Stiggy on the floor. Good drone play there, but Bibo will find Shockwave. Now Call has no clue where the clash is. Bibo's taking a lot of damage, but he should be able to heal himself up. There you go. The clash is holding up in the hallway here over on 90. forZe with 3 players left. They have to face the almost full HP of the 4. Kama will move in, but problem is you can't just push that clash away. You can walk away from it. Now any Nitro Cell can end it all. Shangri will find one, but Spark is already detonated on a forZe. You have to go and set that diffuser on the floor, but Spark has already found one. And with no time left, you'll have to go for the fight, and then you're not going to win that against the Clash. The Buck loses it, and Vitality set another round on the board. It's a 4-4.
The clash was definitely pivotal in that working out that time. You saw even when he goes for the plant, he's just running straight at the clash. He's just staring at him, tasering him the whole time, slowing him down, forcing him to be in a more of a time-compromised position. But what I wonder is, why not have the clash push the Buck at that point? Have someone pressure the thermite so he can't go for the plant at the cross that they were trying to play, but have the clash rotate in first so the clash can block the Buck's shots. You could pretty much even walk almost directly up to the Buck, just keep just out of melee range, and then he won't be able to melee you without vaulting in, and then all of his shots get blocked. Then you could easily come in from the metal hallway like they were trying to do and take out the thermite. So it was really unfortunate because they'd gotten picked before by that Buck. They knew he was going to be playing there. They know he's covering for the plant. But either way, they come out ahead. So at the end of the day, it doesn't necessarily matter. Small things they could have done a little bit better. But ultimately, Vitality definitely adapted. The trouble they had in dealing with that Evil Eye as well certainly helped things in at least being a bit of a distraction. But also, the Doc got some good use that time. BB was able to get the heal, pick up Stiggy as well as heal himself, and it worked out because they were able to recover a lot more manpower and have a health advantage, not to mention time advantage over forZe.
This is very well played from Vitality in the previous round, but forZe are just not giving any quarters.
Fourth bomb site now.
Vitality are just jumping all over the place. They've been fairly effective, at least the 2-2, and a close game in general. I really can't understate, like, because people have not, they watch Vitality playing in Pro League, but they don't know much about forZe. You might just say, oh yeah, forZe just are supposed to lose this so badly, but you really don't know much about forZe. Trust me, they are no team to be laughed at for EU. And EUCL in general, EUCL teams can give most Pro League teams a pretty tough time.
Well, he's definitely going to try an interesting angle from Rask, like rappelling up so he can get a little bit of a better angle in to see a little farther. At the same time, no one's really willing to peek him just yet. And he's, of course, going with the R4C with the hollow.
No, Shockwave spots the edge of the rifle, at least the SMG there, but Vitality falling back, not taking any damage early on at the 2-minute mark. Vitality taking their time in CCTV and see both the castle and the Valkyrie are set through there. Stiggy,
oh man,
fire up. Will take a bit of damage himself, as well as Spark. Always hear the castle screaming in the back, and he's prone on the floor, and Shockwave can't really see what's behind those monitors. He's got a utility, but he's going to need drones to confirm, and the drones will be walking right on in to get exactly that done.
If only they were set up for runouts on this, because there were so many people repelling. Shanger, though, just jumps on in. He's pretty much taking Rask's job here. Rask needs to come
Oh! Ride from below. Great support. Vitality might be holding on to CCTV here, but they've got so much manpower just supporting this position. Rask will spray all around, but it's Qual on the Jaeger holding on in 90. And he's got reinforced walls as well to protect him, as well as a shield. forZe will be able to move into detention or jail, depending on what you call it. And there'll be a castle barricade set right by that window. Oh, a beautiful play from Ride as he finds Kama and drops him on the floor. The Fuser as well is on the floor. Call will try to turn around and play close to the CCTV desk, but it'll be finished off by Stiggy, who quickly reloads the MPX, but it's Shockwave last alive. And even the Maestro has dropped down out of the armory, and what a shot from Stiggy. Vitality take the lead at 3-2.
Doing quite well that round. I mean, ultimately, CCTV cost them everything to try and take, and they still never took it. Just their inability to push it. I mean, I appreciate the adaptation to try and rotate through jail and try and get into customs, you know, thinking they're all distracted, focused on the top floor. But that was definitely not the case. The peek out there from Brede, I think it was just well-timed, and there was really not much he could do to fight that at that point because he had the advantage in terms of intel. And I mean, like I said, I wish Vitality had been better set up for runouts, because you had, I think, 4 members of forZe repelling all at once. 3 of them on one side, a run out from the front door. Yes, ultimately you probably would have got traded, but you very likely could have gotten 2 for that. So I would have liked to see it set up for a run out, because they had a Valkyrie. Chances are they might have had some intel outside, considering forZe haven't been running an IQ or anything that could spot them necessarily. But that's hard to say. We don't really know where all those black guys were. But either way, again, a round where I'm saying what Vitality maybe could have done a little bit better or taken advantage of, but still, ultimately, they came out the victors. And forZe just spending so many time hoping that Vitality were going to peek them at angles, that by the time they were forced to push into things, Vitality were the ones actually taking the angle advantage. So really well played, but also just a good teamwork. For example, when they're trying to push in CCTV when Rask was coming in, the flank from the Jaeger, things like that, those nice team play maneuvers like that, really making a difference, I think, for the team. And Vents is going to be the final defense here for Vitality.
See how this works out for Vitality is, again, they somehow recovered this round, or they played forZe on it, because they had Stiggy moving up the flank on the Jaeger and doing the work, eliminating the buck in the armory. However, he overpeaked, and the Thermite was in the perfect position to catch him through the pre-opened holes in the armory, through the window downstairs in ventilation, and unfortunately, he lost the fight, left his teammate alone, and in a 1v1, low HP on the Mozzie, you're not going to win it. We'll see maybe if forZe can be more efficient on their assault here. They definitely have all the basics and all the setup down. I'm very impressed by the timing that forZe are displaying.
Yeah, they know what their priorities, which is, it's going to take us a while to fight this top floor, so we need to do it efficiently. We need to start to get in, get set up. I'm surprised they're not almost, you know, focusing on the grenades again, unless the buck is upstairs, going for the old chimney grenade. Good camera angle there from Spark, getting some intel on whether or not they're pushing east stairwell, so they know whether or not to peek from 90 if they're playing over there. for example. But Shockwave's playing it smart on the stairwell. Now, of course, he could get flanked from below if he's not paying attention, if they know. But Shangri trying to sneak in a drone here. It's always a good drone spot because you catch a lot of angles, and Kama actually catches Spark. So good start here for forZe. It's cost them, a minute and a half, but they've softened things up, and Stiggy and Qual are going to have to really stick this now.
These drones have been so effective from forZe, and they're actually looking to tie this up here at the half. Stiggy is eliminated. This position is a bit too easy to spot. forZe will lose one drone to Bride. That's something that Vitality have to their side. They should have 2 nitro cells as well between Qual and Bride. Can we just take a look at... Oh, he's got barbed wire again.
Still, why? I don't know. He just doesn't want to switch it. They're really counting on that barbed wire to slow down forZe, and I don't think it's working.
Drone is going to get taken away here at the entry of the armory, and Qual is going to pre-peek, but realize not really worth it. Grenade thrown in the back by Shangri. Oh, this is not great. You need to drop on down. Damage a tiny bit done here to Qual, but he's kind of forced into position. He has to fight against long range and double angles, even triple. Nitro cell thrown up, but they will connect to Qual. Well done here. At least something Vitality can look forward to in this round. It's just been all forZe all day. Round number 6. More angles being opened up with breaching grounds used here by the Ash. And the entire floor destroyed by the bucket Shangri.
They're hoping for a second one, but they're just not giving it to him yet.
15 seconds to go.
Not much time left now. Well, forZe are looking to assault from the main door. Oh, Bride unfortunately looking the wrong way. And Shockwave takes his head off. Stand at the half here on map number 1 on border. It's clear 3-3.
Now, of course, for those of you who've been watching Pro League but aren't familiar with best of threes, this cannot go to a tie. So if it gets to a 6-6 kind of point, then it's just going to be overtime. And then that's a best of 3. So the maximum number of rounds can go to an 8-7, which is 15 rounds. So could go there the way things are looking so far, depending on how the side switch works out for them. It looks like we're going to see a little bit of a different lineup in terms of the IQ, at least, potentially, from Vitality. And the Kaed from Kama. So some slight differences, and they're going to start in Armory Lockers. No cheeky Taylor's bathroom defense here to start things out. But Vitality did ultimately manage to win 3 of their 4 bomb sites. So that was pretty good. The only one they weren't able to win was Vents, which is what they finished on that loss. So I'm curious how we're going to see the setup from forZe. I doubt they're going to go for that same soft wall strategy. They definitely might see... Kala and Shangri definitely putting up some points there, 7 each, and that's more than any single member of Vitality has, with 6 being the highest from Bride. And he's going to, of course, be playing that typical Thermite role that you were mentioning earlier. And Vitality have all the utility they need, but I like the addition of the IQ to be able to spot out those black and evil eyes that they're definitely going to be dealing with. Not to mention, get some heads up on any ADSs before they accidentally waste any utility throwing things in, especially when you're trying to get some idea how you get set up for that push and whether or not to use the Thatcher in certain positions. Little sneaky camera here. Can be hidden, I imagine, just by this little piece. They may not catch that, but with the IQ in play, chances are they probably will.
So Vitality out and actually running the IQ in this situation. Obviously, since the Echo's banned, they won't have to worry about that. So.
Yeah, so it's not as necessary, but with the amount of Valkyries being played on here.
It should be specifically played to the Valkyrie, first of all, the good point that you raised, but also to aid a Buck or a Zofia, where they destroy the bot. Oh, Kama Chameleon. He's not really a chameleon in this position. Gets insta-tapped by Stiggy. A great opener against the Valkyrie. Nitro Cell's been eliminated. Ras goes for the runner and close to finding the second. But it's Bibu to go for the refrag.
That's the hard breacher. Now they have to go for probably Office take.
Oh, Shangri with another peek. Oh my.
Certainly trying to make it work here. Try and trade back a little bit if he can. As they are, of course, down a player versus Vitality. The 3v4. It is the hard breacher they got, though, and then now a second one on Spark. Now, any ability to try and clear things out to breach in, definitely going to be much harder. They have a soft destructor left to open any of the soft walls, potentially, if there's any lifelines, grenades left, as well as grenades, of course, coming from Qual, but they've lost a lot of important utility in this 3v3. This is actually advantage forZe at the moment, not to mention, with the Doc still alive, if they take some hits and don't die, he can, heal some of those players back up as well on defense.
we've been mentioning this whole like aggressive metagame, quote unquote, from the defenders for quite a while now. But the reason why you do that and why it wasn't done before is not really the ops in majority. It's mostly because people have realized that if you dictate the pace of the round early on by being a bit more aggressive or throwing off your opponents, you're more likely to keep them on the edge for the rest of the round. And that really affects you when it comes to nerves, etc.
It also helps that there's a lot of intel operators on defense now as well to be able to have the right intel to make those plays.
Exactly. So all of that combined works out very well for the strategy, and that's why it's so viable nowadays, and it was very well exploited by forZe, even given the fact that they kind of lost the Valkyrie for free, but it was kind of an honest mistake, to say the least. Qual is coming from below. The Maestro should be a free kill here. There you go. Shockwave eliminated all the strategy in the book on border.
Yeah, well done. I mean, it was a little bit late in the round to be doing that because they still have less than 30 seconds left to make this push. But as I said before, that's one of Vitality's strengths on this. It is unfortunate they have lost a bit of utility, but they could definitely make this push work. It's Shangri they're really going to have to watch out for playing that long angle because they could deal with office. There it is!
Drops out and finds one on Qual. Now the diffuser's going to be set. Shangri's already down on the floor, but should be able to revive himself. Diffuser's being set by Stigi. Qual will run around the corner. He'll throw a smoke down on the floor and eliminate Bibu. But it leaves Stigi alive with not much HP and eliminated by Shangri. Vitality will lose the round as forZe played it so extremely well. They let the diffuser be set and allowing themselves more flexibility. Shangri this entire game has been popping off.
Especially on that dock roll was definitely good for him because not only was he able to fight a little bit longer angles, make sure he hit his shots, but also able to get himself back up. That's the important thing, right? Because he got downed. That would have made it a 1v2, and that would have been a situation where shotgun would have been pretty useful along with the gas, but at the same time, chances are it probably would have been a trade out, and then they would have lost. But having the dock still left alive, able to do some work there on Shangri, absolutely worked out for them. We'll see if they can do any better on vents, though, than Vitality did. This is the site that they could not win. So they're playing more of the standard defensive roles. I mean, rotation, which is, armory vents first. I mean, we still did get armory vents in that order from Vitality, but it was after doing bathroom tellers.
And it's bathroom tellers, so there's few teams that really will play it at all. So I'm not really surprised that we at least saw a tiny bit of it.
Probably end up just seeing customs if we see a third site here from forZe.
A lot of people that are watching here, again, might not be fully aware of what we're doing here in terms of the cast over the next few days. There's 4 regions that'll be played on this stream, by the way. This is our first one, EU. We have, in just a few hours, APAC land starting off. Then, of course, it's on land for APAC, so it's top 14.
It won't be from this studio.
Exactly. That'll be live from Sydney. We'll see our good friend Dev Marta on there. But then we'll have Latin America and then North America later on. So the next 24 hours, you will have so much siege, it's barely going to be enough to hold you over until the major.
Binge now because you have that break before the major.
I believe that this is the time where everybody's going to make up random drama on Twitter just to fill for time because there's nothing happening between Plating number 7 and the major. So, called it.
Yeah. Well, speaking of nothing happening just yet, they're still getting set up for this. Now, they did see the Valkyrie playing in here earlier, so they're going to anticipate that camera. An easy pick. I don't think they even needed Stiggy to find that. That's the important part about when you're playing Valkyrie, you really don't want to get spotted lingering in an area by the drones, because that kind of gives away you're going to throw a camera. That reminds me of when you get caught kind of as Legion hanging out in an area. Chances are they know, okay, there's probably going to be a Kumai there. Fortunately for Shangri, not playing the dock, but definitely still playing an ACOG. Just could not catch that one. But I can't imagine him going through this round without getting at least one pick.
That would definitely be an oddity. And I don't mean the APAC team. It's that team. Because they're not playing Qualifiers. But there you go. Qual will throw out a grenade and destroy the cancel barricade. Right now, forZe are not really putting a ton of pressure on the top floor, unlike what we saw from Vitality. At least have Maestro up here with Shangri and Kama close up by the white stairs, but it's all set up to drop down to the tellers area, or to the the customs inspection area, and then just stay there, hold an extra angle, and Shangri has all the utility for it, of course, to open those hatches for himself. Extra angle here being widened by Bibu as he uses both of his lifelines for that. And in the meantime, forZe actually put even more manpower on the top floor. They have Shockwave on here in the castle and has the window pre-planned for him to dive on down and rotate back on the site.
Yeah, I like that idea of using the outside window right there, because chances are no one's going to be watching it. In the meantime, though, they're actually spending a lot of time droning here. Qual, with that wall open, could make some work happen, but no, goes on the drone just at the wrong time. Loses about half his health.
Good play there from the smoke. You're expecting somebody to move in. The IQ Stiggy eliminated by Rask, who somehow stays alive on the Jaeger and will run away through the hallway. He's got support. Shockwave on his own. Headshot onto Bibu, eliminating the Zofia. Another one for Rask on Qual. forZe looking so strong right now. Spark is on in his zone. He'll find one kill, but it might not be effective at all. Pre-fires into the back of the servers, but there's already Kama there. And from behind, Shockwave will descend, and with all the rage of forZe.
It was unfortunate for him, too, because he was so worried about the hole in the ceiling. He could not fight all those angles at once in that doorway. At that point, he might have considered maybe even coming from the bathroom side just to be able to watch, some different angles, peek it before actually trying to walk in. Didn't matter, though, still got caught from behind. And here's that customs defense that I was saying would likely be the third one. So it'll be interesting now. Last time when Vitality were defending it, the CCTV became definitely the area of focus for sure. A lot of deaths going on in there. See if forZe can hold it as well. They're actually going to just tease the clash. Go for a castle instead to slow them down. Although a clash definitely wouldn't have been a bad pick. The way Vitality used it was decently effective. Trying to slow things down as much as possible. This bomb site, of course, you do have to worry about where Shangri's right now, coming in through Passport once that wall's reinforced, is something that may happen, and they have nothing to stop the wall from being open. So Brede really just has to go into Passport with someone covering the door, and he can open that right up. There's no real vertical play to come down on him. It's pretty much a free open, as they're not going to be contesting it in any way. They have the Thatcher anyway, so it still would be. And I got to imagine maybe that's what forZe is thinking is, you know what, they're going to Thatch it anyways. There's no point in us bringing a Bandit or a Mute just to stop that, but those are both the operators that get C4s, so hopefully the castle barricades will work for them in slowing it down and this top floor control. But at the same time, you don't absolutely have to have CCTV. If you could just control the hatch play, for example, if you can stop them from peeking the hatch, you can still plant in Passport without having to completely control it. But at the same time, we saw how much effort forZe put into trying to take the CCTV and just losing too many people doing it, especially a lot on Repel.
I like that impact grenade used up. That should give an extra angle to fight against anyone from Vitality walking in the main door into CCTV. Again, with a castle barricade, it kind of protects you from any early peaks from Vitality. So if you're forZe, it just allows you to be a bit more aggressive.
Yeah. That's the thing, is a lot of times castle barricades and even wooden barricades sometimes are just set up just to kind of cover flanks so you can focus on watching one angle.
Because you're not sure, oh, there's a wall here, even though it's very easy to destroy. I am going to sit on my drone for a moment and check it out. Yep.
Well, they're going to, focus on not just CCTV, but they're also worried about armory. That's the things, they're getting a bit split focused here. They almost need to consider maybe even taking from offices instead of focusing so heavily on this, because this soft wall has actually been really threatening. And one castle barricade still left in his pocket as well. Wonder if he'll get a chance to use that before he dies. Playing this aggressively? Probably not. And you see that camera there again, just watching for anyone coming towards him. So he is just... Shockwave! Playing a little over-aggressive, but still managing to get away with it.
Jumping around here between all the cameras, and I don't believe that this one was spotted and will be spotted anytime soon now. forZe burning so much time here, and Spark will find on Kama. Oh, a shot from Shangri though. Will hit Bibu, eliminate the Zofia. Another from Shangri as he just lays down on the floor and takes down Spark. Peeks out another angle, but a Shockwave, close to finding it. Rask eliminated finally by Qual. But he's so low on HP. Kaw's gonna throw a smoke canister here. It will hit against the top of the wall and everybody outside. An impact grenade to destroy the thermite charge of Bride. Two players from Vitality with barely anything against forZe.
Well done by forZe, but I mean, to be fair, it's only a one-man advantage, and Shockwave's dangerously close to being that odd man out. Although Qual at the same time goes to 0 health. Bride trying to clutch this out against 3. Probably not going to happen at this point, unfortunately for him. Certainly going to give it a try, though.
You don't really have much to work with. No thermite charge either, as both have already been used. Pre-fire through the wall, but Caw has already put himself behind Bride, just in case. Bit of smoke damage done behind the wall as now Bride moves into a hallway. Workshop opened up. Caw will turn around and Bride eliminate him. Will eliminate. Well, he will be eliminated.
Well, yeah. Well, that puts us at match point. And this is dangerous for Vitality. However, this is forZe's map.
And this is best of 3, which means overtime is possible.
Absolutely. And to be fair, if it does, even if forZe wins this, Villa is a much, much better map for Vitality. And Vitality, so far record-wise, are better at Clubhouse than forZe as well. So in theory, the map bans definitely went in Vitality's favor despite struggling on this map. And the fact that forZe had not played it and not shown anything during the quals has definitely worked out against Vitality. But at the same time, like they said, they can afford to lose this. I mean, if I'm them, I'm almost considering, you know what? Let's maybe even not put too much effort in this last round. Let's roll over and move to our map. Let's get that momentum back, you know? The other side of that, of course, the flip side of the coin is that forZe also got to see a lot of how Vitality play Villa. So depending on how well they strategize around that, might work out. As forZe has an okay record, 2 wins, 1 losses on it. So they're definitely decent at Villa as well. But it's Clubhouse where the extra advantage will shine for Vitality, having a 3-1 record on it between Pro League and Qualifiers, and forZe with only the 1-0 on it. So we'll see, though. Of course, that depends on these next few rounds, whether or not we make it to OT. But Vitality's got to win 3 in a row to make it to overtime, and so far they have yet to win a single attack. So not looking likely for them to win 3 in a row all of a sudden. Another soft wall here in Armory. It's working out for these teams, though. Well, Kama doing a lot of rotating around, hoping to find someone. This is playing a little bit fast and loose, as he doesn't seem to actually know where they're at, and his cameras aren't providing any additional intel for that. They are a little bit focused on taking this top floor, though, so he probably doesn't have too much to worry about, but he could be setting up for a potential run out from the from jail. Nope, he's going to rotate around. Still, though, I could see a run out from front door coming out here. Something I was saying that, maybe Vitality should have considered earlier on.
So great from forZe to dictate the pace of every single round here. As we moved into the second half, forZe's defense has just been insufferable for Vitality to deal with, to be honest. Video will continue to drone in, but the same angle held by the dock this time, Shangri. Whenever there's an ACOG, he is looking great.
Deployable shield's still in the pocket here. Not a choice. Maybe he's hoping all the utility to get burned off Sophia before, and that will give him the opportunity, then force him to have to use a grenade, if anything, to try and take it out. So, I mean, I like the idea, but just don't get caught setting it up.
Oh, Stigi will dive on in and remove Rask from play here, and another one. Stigi's fighting back. Vitality want to bring this one up to 6-6 and go into OT. Map number 1, but it's a while away. Huge advantage here for Vitality off of Stigi, and great droning from his teammates to allow him to pull this sort of stunt off.
Shangri's dead too, and that's the important thing, is he's been one of their most consistent fraggers, taking him out and taking control of CCTV. And still, a minute 15 left is pretty good for Vitality here. They've still, of course, got to find Shockwave on the Maestro now. It's almost too bad it wasn't Shangri, because there goes Shockwave. So this looked like a Vitality round.
Continue drone in here, Stigi, setting up his drones for later on, and Caw will be spotted. Kama firing in, but he's unable to find the kill. There's a reinforced wall there, and saving Kama for just a bit. There's a reason why people set up. Oh, the wall in 90. Kama eliminated. Stigi is just on a roll, taking on all his opponents and just moving on to closer and better positions. It's Qual to move in and eliminate Caw with a flawless round. For Vitality, where have you been last few rounds?
The last 3 rounds was definitely not that same Vitality, but part of that, again, was taking down Shangri earlier. It was the play from Stigi to take CCTV that completely changed that round. I mean, had he not make that play, it would have still been them at a minute 15, still fighting angles in to CCTV through windows, especially if given a chance to set up that deployable shield as well. It definitely would have been very problematic to deal with, so really good on that push, taking advantage of the 3-speed IQ. And we're going to go for a second attempt here. So far we haven't seen a bomb site 2 times in a row, but we will see here from forZe who think, you know, we could do it better next time. We're just going to be better prepared than CCTV, and it won't be a big deal. Because they, you know, that's what it came down to, was losing the 2 people in there. I mean, had they even been able to rotate out instead of dying, they would have had a lot more manpower left on site. But I don't think they're going to change up too much, other than Shangri actually playing a Legion this time. That is his counter. He says, you know what, you want to run in fast, sprinting into CCTV? Not through my goo mines, you're not. So good counter there. Of course, Spark being a IQ will be able to potentially spot those as well. But they're going with a double hard breacher. Spark going to be on the IQ this time. So that should be interesting. I got to wonder, did they think it was a different bomb site, or they just want to set up better angles and be able to play this a little bit smarter with the double hard breach? Maybe this also indicates they could be going for a push on the office's side this time, because, hey, if you're having a lot of trouble fighting CCTV, you know where you don't have to fight it? Going in through the office.
That's really the linchpin for forZe, isn't it?
It kind of was for Vitality as well.
And in the case of Vitality, when they were on the defense, forZe were like almost never attacking anything in Armory, right?
Yeah.
It was always office, office, office. Let's just avoid CCTV.
Yep.
And this time, Vitality just kind of put themselves in the rough position where they want to fight. In that spot where forZe are kind of putting most of their marbles in.
Yeah, they're definitely trying to get some idea on the setup before they decide how to push this. But at the same time, like, there's, oh, the jump out.
Hey, yay!
Oh.
Here's one. Caw eliminated for the price of the IQ.
Yeah, that's the smoke. I'd say that's maybe a fair or decent trade.
Around a 60-40.
Yeah, depending on
Vitality.
It depends on how much you needed the IQ later on. As there's no echo in play, it's not as important. But they also did lose the Thatcher, which is something that would help them clear out the Evil Eyes as well as any batteries they need to. So hopefully the double hard breacher works out for them, but it's definitely harder to use that if you can't get those walls unelectrified, for example. That's what Babu's for, yeah.
Exactly. You don't need an IQ for this sort of thing. A Buck, a Zofia, both will do the work quite easily. Now, Vitality will drone in from below and make sure that there's nobody playing inside of the servers. A lot of times you'll see teams running a Pulse downstairs or a Valkyrie, as we saw forZe trying before in ventilation. It didn't work out for them there, but it's a standard strategy to be employed. But a lot of teams are on the defense, and this is just an easy opener for Day. The minute 20, there's a decent chunk of time left.
I like how they're almost just like looking at each other like so.
This conga line of, what do we do now?
I think they were deciding on how they wanted to reposition themselves now that the wall's been opened. They know the push is eventually going to come, but that's actually potentially going to at some point.
He dives right into him. Kama loses the gunfight against Qual, as it's a beautiful bait from Qual. Now it's 2 eliminated with a potential Nitro Cell away. None left for forZe. Grenade being caught by an ADS. There's still 2 inside that we can see very clearly. Rask's going to be forced away from the desk as his screen is completely whitened. And Habana kind of just sitting there. There you go. She's coming up. I realize that there's the Evil Eye on the floor. It's the Zofia's job to stay clear of it.
Yeah, Zofia used up all the... Oh, nope, they had a grenade left, though.
Shangri will find Qual, though, and he's on the run, and he finds another! Bibu eliminated, and an Goo mindset on the floor. A peek from Rask will find 1 and 2! Vitality will lose out map number 1.
Good half. Well done by forZe. That was a round that was actually going pretty decidedly towards Vitality's side. It was that run out from Shangri. Again, he's definitely the MVP of forZe. Whether or not he was top of the leaderboard, he was not. Might be off points or anything else, but for me, he was the reason forZe won many of those rounds.
Yeah, there's no question about it. When it comes to gunfights, and you see Shangri with 14 frags, Vitality had 4 rounds, but they were not really off of just pure frag power. They did not have that. There's only 1 round that they won on the attack that was basically won because Stigi was droned in. He jumped, he got 3 kills off of it. Well, 2 kills in CCTV, and then followed up with 1 more in 90.
Well, how they set up to counter that as well, so he couldn't do it again.
Yeah. I mean, if you're Vitality, the biggest mistake is we will push CCTV every single time. Sure, you got something off of this in this round, but you kind of realize that forZe are not holding back. They will dive onto you whenever that's a possibility.
Which was interesting how many jump outs they went for. There was 3 of them, jump outs / runouts, and they had no Valkyrie that round. So they were doing them a bit blind, which was interesting. Obviously, the one that jump out onto IQ. In that situation, he knew someone was there. Probably could even hear the Claymore getting set up.
Even jumped on the buck, you could see that, okay, well, they opened up the window. There's definitely somebody out there. Either he'll be downstairs by ventilation or he'll be still on the rappel, but the bandit dove out and the buck kind of baited him into position.
Yeah.
So well done by Qual.
Some good back and forth on those jump outs, but ultimately Shunger's run out won them the round.
All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, that's map number 1. We still potentially have 2 in store for you. We'll see if forZe can defeat Vitality and move on to play against Chaos. Map number 2 coming up in just a few minutes.
Designated staging area. Defender has been discovered. The attack. Seconds to go. Defender has left the attacker's bomb diffuser has been dropped. Reaching a kill zone.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Map number 1 between forZe and Vitality has concluded in a firm Russian victory for forZe. Now we head on to map 2, Villa. Devin.
This is probably going to 3 maps. Let's be honest. Like, while both teams are good on Villa here, this is definitely Vitality's map. They beat Navi on it, they beat Zizou on it, and they beat forZe on it. forZe, however, are still not a slouch on it, though. They beat eWorld and Chaos on this map, and they only lost it to Vitality. So, you know, assuming they can fix what they did wrong, they could also come back on this, but it's definitely a good map for Vitality all around.
Habana or a Maverick ban here for forZe, possibly on the attack. Habana, there you go. It's completely expected. Habana is, like, in my opinion, the best hard breacher on Villa, just because you can just avoid impact tricking completely, which is always great.
It still takes a lot of utility to get that wall open, though, in general, but Jackal going to go. That means roam play should be interesting here.
Now, Vitality might be planning on more plays with Legion and Valkyrie, maybe a Pulse as well, which works out pretty well.
I could see the Pulse play for sure on this map.
Who do they eliminate? And it's going to be Echo. It's Vitality. Are you surprised?
And like you said, the mirror ban always the play for forZe here, so I expect that next.
It's not as powerful as an operator on this map, to be honest, because you can just destroy the Mira's windows quite easily, especially if you're pushing Aviator Game Room. It actually turns out to be a negative thing against you if you run Mira more often than not, because it's so easy to destroy it from below, and Buck's such a great operator on this map. Jackal usually is, but because of that ban, we won't be seeing.
Well, that's the thing, though, is like if something's easy to destroy from below and they're likely to do that, you can also use that to your advantage as a defender.
Yeah, a lot of times.
If you ban the counter roamer. So.
A lot of times, it's not just about that, but sometimes they'll run the Mira on purpose to bait you into fighting them in holes. Obviously, that's not an easy strategy to pull off, but if you have like a Pulse and a Valkyrie helping out from the bottom floor near piano or near the living room, it's a beauty to watch. There's a couple teams that have been able to do it, and it's wonderful in general. So, IQ picked up by Bibu, a signature operator for him.
It'll help in terms of if he wants to do some roaming downstairs as well, to try and clear out the roamers. He can spot any of the goo mines. Also, if for some reason they had 6th picked over to a Pulse to play that, would have been able to spot him or a Vigil. So, I mean, I like the flexibility you get from that. And it's still a 3-speed attacker like Ash, so still get some of those advantages. Instead of a Buck, they're going to be playing a Sledge here, which is interesting considering you can play from below with the Buck, so it surprises me you'd go with the Sledge instead and lose out on some of the advantages that you would get with the Buck. They are going to go with the Maverick because, of course, of the Habana ban that you mentioned. But still, they're going to go with the double hard breacher because the Maverick's just going to be there to help make sure that they can't deny the walls. And they know it, too. That's why they're going to go with no hard breach denial, no mutes, no bandits, no Kaeds. Just keeping it to the, let's fight our angles, let's bait them into us. When they open the wall, we know which wall they're probably going to open. We know how they're going to open it. You know, they could try for some impact tricking if they want. But, you know, there are some ways around that, depending on whether or not they destroyed some of the floor to prevent the old thermite on the floor next to the walls. They are going to go for the typical master bedroom take to be able to take from the opposite corner. Something, as you mentioned, is the source of a lot of takes regardless of the bomb site.
Yes, it's just so great to take control of bedroom. The least of what you're getting is clearing out a majority of the map, at least half of the map, from taking control of there and running through it. Either you're safe, which is great. It gives you a wider launching pad compared to the office on the opposite end. If you look at the study.
Yeah, study is not a great, because there's too many angles to fight. And
Exactly.
That's the thing about, if you pay attention to a lot of takes, the way they work is you want to enter into somewhere that's relatively secure. That you're not going to have to fight too many different angles when you're in there, so you can start to drone from there, you can start to push from there, make some momentum and not have to worry about it. But that is a good early potential pick here. Kama's going to try and get over towards Shockwave, and they probably don't know they downed it, but nope, there we go. Kama finished off.
Well done here by Bride, eliminating Kama. It's like Vitality don't even need a Jackal in this situation.
They got drones.
They got drones.
They're a very good drone team, though. That was one of their things they used to be very good at, was spending a lot of time droning out roamers and clearing them out before going for a site execute. So forZe might want to pay attention to that fact and make sure that they don't give too many freebies away on those roams, especially with Shingra being a good anchor. If he has support for him as well on site, it would be very difficult for them to actually make the push. So they got to be smart with what they have here. Now, we did see Vitality struggle a lot on their attacks on border. So we've got to wonder if we're going to see a little bit different here. Shangri taking a bit of damage, but no problem.
Just use some drugs for it.
It's fine.
That's how it works. Seems like Vitality are very much afraid of runouts, not as much of roam, which is, you know, it kind of reinforces the fact that they're so good at droning and playing through it. Rask will find one Untitled Chapter, and on the runout, here we are again. forZe, the instant that you just give them some space, they will move against you. At least one gas canister will be used here, 2 left in the back pocket. I haven't heard it pop just yet. Oh, it has. And the second one will be thrown out. Good timing here from forZe, and I'll give Claude enough time to put himself in a better position to watch for any walk-ins. And Rask is looking for a flank play. Zofia will just rush on in. Steegi will be eliminated. Spark, though, with a refrag onto Rask, running the Maverick. See a player on the floor, and Shagri will find Bibu. He turns around for the second. Oh, as if he knew. And Qual taken away as Spark is left alone, and not for long. Shockwave holding up the singular position that can be used by Vitality. forZe drop.
I love the bait that came out from Ka. He knew someone was playing behind that door, and it's like, there's someone in sight right now, literally, and I can't shoot them. So what can I do? Throw a gas canister and then just pre-fire. You know he's going to come around the corner or at least be exposed for a second. So that was really well played, and that's when the deaths started to really roll out for Vitality. And then the playbacks. Then, of course, Shangri doing his thing pretty regularly. He's always a bit on top of it, too. You see him a lot of times anticipate, as you mentioned, almost like he knew, anticipating a lot of the pushes that will come on him and then just whipping around to that angle. He's always concerned about getting flanked and having to fight 2v1s. And I think that's a real problem, is when a player is so on top of that you can't pinch them very well because you have to time it perfectly, that could be a real struggle, and he's definitely been a huge pain for Vitality. And already on their map, they're down 1 point. Not a great start after losing map 1. They'll go for the same attack lineup and hope to do a little bit better this time here on Trophy. Again, another site you're still going to somewhat take from Master Bedroom, but you may also take from the other corner in Study, assuming you drone it well enough to know you're not going to get flanked right away when you come in there. But Astronomy is always like an interesting linchpin in the defense here. See if Shockwave's actually going to play it. May also be setting up an Evil Eye in here.
Yep.
But you got to have that rotate right there.
You always need this rotate, and just in case you're held in place. And Shockwave, I mean, he still has that extra Evil Eye. Okay, now you can dive in as well.
Whoa!
Shangri, sit down for just a minute.
This round's over. Vitality just won it.
Shangri and Spawn Peaks with Doc. This is like...
No healing back from that one.
Every ranked game ever.
So far it's been working for them. I can't blame them. They're playing very aggressive with, like you said, aggressive defender meta.
Just dictating the pace of the match. But Vitality shut them down early on, and it is the biggest culprit of this sort of play. Drone not taken away here by Rask, as Qual is going to watch the singular angle. He needs an extra drone to confirm that the hallway is clear, and it will be. It's going to be set up, so now he can move up. Oh, Gumine taken away, but why was that drone not giving him info? Camo walks right through it.
He was too busy pointing out the Gumine to him.
Oh my god. Free kill here given for forZe. At least the Doc and the Maestro are eliminated. Kama going in for another. Bride taken away. How is he allowed to do any of this?
And he was immediately ready for any kind of trade on that as well.
You find one more headshot on the Bibu. Kama on the leash and just demolishing Vitality. You're going to need to spend all your skill points on HP in this one.
Yeah, this has definitely gone from a great round for Vitality to a desperate one now. A minute 30 left at least, still here to rotate around and make some plays, but Diffuser completely under control. He's even going to Gumine it. That's the thing, is you Gumine that, now you know the moment they try and pick that up, and you could potentially peek out on them, because to get out of that balcony, they have to repel. There's no just vaulting away necessarily. I don't think you can vault over that balcony.
You could try to get over to the side and at least spark.
Yeah, I guess there's the window.
He outplays Kama to just look through the window and can dive on in through there, but you've lost a lot of time. There's a minute left in a 2v2, only a bit of damage done. There's a trail of Gumines that are more focused towards that Study than anywhere else, so Vitality are not done just yet.
No, they're definitely not. And at least they had that extra time to play with, because those deaths came out so early. It was a good trade. But now they know it's going to be mostly site play. Like, chances of having a roamer are very low at this point, so that can speed up their clear. Of course, if forZe want to play smart, they can play into that assumption like Rask is doing right now. And he's going to take advantage of going for a bit more of a flank. But that leaves a lot of work here on Ka, who's slowly depleting his stock of gas canisters. can only hold them off for so long. So the flank needs to come out soon here for Rask.
Colin is playing by Marble. Statuary. And finds that John Spark. Eliminated. Vitality. Leaving only one alive. The Steegi. The Finn on the floor. Close here at half HP. Have to face off against 2 angles into him, and he actually moves into Statuary solo. He'll try to vault over, but there's already a player waiting right near him. Rask will turn around and spare his entire magazine. He looks at every angle, finds the head. Steegi, take it away as forZe. Secure another round. Just claw it away from Vitality.
Yeah. Well done, though. And that's the problem is, of course, when it's even just a 1v1 on attack, you have to plant unless you're going to win your 1v1. So at that point, you have the advantage as a defender. In that situation, being a 2v1, especially, huge advantage to them. Of course, all they had to worry about was just timing things right. forZe definitely made it work and really recovered from a round that they might not have been able to had it not been the plays from the Legion. That was definitely the way to do it for Kama. He's actually going to trade off who's playing Legion over to Shockwave this time. And they're going to play Dining Room Kitchen with the Mozzie here to help counter drones. I can imagine might have one at the top of the pantry stairs as well to be able to stop them from droning in that backside of kitchen. But Spark's going to try and cut that off. I can imagine those gridlocks as well going to be used to try and cut off any kind of rotations out through that pantry. It's a good choice to bring that gridlock. You don't want those late flanks coming out from players like Rask.
No. You're just clawing for everything. Vitality, you have to really feel demoralized at this point in time.
Yeah, this being their map, this is not looking great. I gotta imagine forZe did do their homework though, and taking this to this map, they have a decent Villa, and then knowing how Vitality play it, if they can play against that very well, because that's the thing is, knowing a team's defense doesn't give you as much advantage as knowing a team's attack, right? Because you have the advantage as a defender in terms of setting up ambushes for them, and then if you bring counter drones like Mozzie, it gets even better because they can't find out that you're doing that work against them. I'm not sure if Shangri just wanted to pick that back up or making sure it's positioned okay, but he's going to be on the roam now that he's got all this pests set up. And he's going to actually bait them into thinking he's going for some peeks, or could even use that later for a peek. So he's, again, playing that aggressive defense, knowing that his job is done for the most part. Outside of carrying a C4 that could be useful late round, he's just going to potentially use that early.
No. Hatch is going to get opened up here, and another one opened up as well.
They want that freedom.
forZe are just opening things up so well, and they really want to use this as best as they can. You can drop, you can play the top floor. You want to play the top floor regardless, because you don't want to give Vitality free reign over the bedroom. You want to constantly pressure them, and that's why you see the reinforced wall as well being played here from forZe, just so they can be safe in maneuvering around this bathroom. And Astronomy, Shockwave's up close, he'll take down a drone and then fall back. This hole that had already been, or the soft wall is still up here in the bathroom. That'll probably be used by forZe later on, but goo mines are being deployed, and you slow down Vitality so much.
Well, Vitality at least still have time to play with here, but they're really not getting a good control of the roam play. They're not really capturing anyone into any particular area, and players like Rask here just allowed to play aggressively against them.
Oh, Rask, a shot onto Qual, takes him away. Drones have already been taken away and destroyed. So now Vitality are in the back foot. I'll walk on down and try to clear the bottom floor here in the basement. Wine cellar. There's nothing there but fresh wine.
You might need a drink after this round.
You and me both, buddy. Spark looking to move into the bicycle area, and he'll get one kill on Shangri. All right. Pretty darn good here, and he's actually right outside of the... Is Carl the only one here on the site?
Yeah, they want to play heavy roam, very aggressive roam. So he held off last time just fine, though, with those smokes. They're going to start coming out, and this is where Bibu's going to start pressuring him pretty hard.
If Bibu can open up into this area in the kitchen, Bibu finds him. There you go. Now it's time to walk into the site, but Spark will be found, and Steegi as well. Kama just rotating back down as well. The entirety of forZe, another one for Kama. And leaves Bibu all on his own. Man.
Kama, again, with a game-changing series of plays this round. This is his map.
He's definitely rocking the microphone in this one.
Seconds remaining.
And Bibu being watched from the top floors. Goo mine will be stepping into that. Ras has already dropped through the hatch in the bedroom. We'll find the kill on Bibu, and forZe are in complete control of this. Vitality cannot find a singular opening in the defense of forZe.
They're definitely taking full control of the map. There's just seemingly so little that Vitality can do about it. I mean, yes, they had some good rounds earlier, but it seems like forZe are getting more and more comfortable now playing on that roam, knowing that Vitality are getting a little bit spread out. And then even when they're close together, they seem to not be watching each other's backs well enough. And you're seeing plays like what Kama made. I mean, Kama even ripping down the door and still getting the kill. That's going to feel really bad when a play like that happens right after two of your teammates just died too. You really should know better at that point, thinking maybe, oh, the door will save me. It's like, no, that definitely backfired. And Kama got away with a lot that round he shouldn't have.
Yeah, definitely. And he's been getting away with a lot of things in general between himself and his opponent Shangri, or his teammate Shangri, excuse me.
His opponent in points.
His opponent in points, yeah.
Although
Kama. No, Kama has been showing up in this matchup here, and at least on this map specifically, and Rask, as you pointed out, is doing a ton of work on the roam play. Shangri is kind of being shut down every now and then.
10 seconds remaining.
But I would like to remind everybody this is Villa, the most offensive-sided map in the pool. So I wouldn't be really too at awe at the scoreline that we have right now. And if we take a look at Vitality playing Villa before, they were getting most of their rounds on the defense. What they were getting is around 2 rounds on the attack. So keeping that in mind, it works well. However, last time Vitality played forZe on this three or so days ago, it was 4 rounds on the attack for Vitality and 3 on the defense.
Yeah. I mean, they won that 7-4, so it was a much better game.
Yeah, it was a 3-3 start for on the defense for Vitality. And this is one of the maps where your starting side can have a major effect on how the map actually ends up going.
Well, we'll see if Vitality can bring it back, because if it's a defensive thing or whatever, then we go from this map we go to a third map to another heavily defensive-sided map, Clubhouse. Especially depending on how those operator bans come out. Again, though, I wonder why they're going with the buck instead of the sledge. It's going to be a little bit more efficient being able to play from below. But the way Stiggy's playing anyways, it probably just doesn't need to be able to do that. Could get peeked here any second. He's aware of it, but then reloading someone out in the open like that is not a great idea. Kama is looking for another play. Rask, though, is going to catch up. He's going to catch up to Kama now.
If he can find anything here, Stiggy as he dove on in, but he's got the SMG-11 to play wide into 90, and nothing will be found so far. Shockwave's in control. And this is so weird to see. It's just the Lesion kind of waddling around. He is kind of waddling around, actually. He's being watched constantly, but he can't really do much against them, can you?
Nope. So Lesion has been a strong operator for multiple players. We saw Shangri play it very well with Lesion on border. We saw some great play from Kama on Lesion, and now it's Shockwave's turn. So see if he can show up. It definitely proves Lesion a very good operator, as we both know very well. Very strong. But a lot of droning having to come out here to try and make some work happen, as there's only 53 seconds left, and they lost one of their hard breachers already. They're possibly again going to push into the site. We saw last time when Qual did that, he got smoked out. But Ka looks a little distracted and actually pushed behind the bar at the moment, so he might not be in a position to do as much about it if that happens again. So he's looking to fight some long angles with that SMG that aren't necessarily the most favorable.
And again, you're... Stiggy turns around to save the day, but Shockwave still in control of the staircase. Bibu taken out. It ain't Stiggy, last 2 alive, and not for long. Shangri will chime in, and you can't fire through this bar here, as a lot of teams and a lot of players have been trying to do it, but it just does not work. He pushes in, Stiggy misses every single shot. He's got to go through those impact grenades, and the Pokeball does not connect. Stiggy has to walk right into the fire of Shockwave. An easy kill for forZe as to secure their 4th round. forZe closer and closer, only 3 rounds away, mind you, from facing off against Chaos and the potential spot at the Raleigh Major. They have the potential to be the 2nd ever Russian team to participate in a major event or even Pro League or anything
It'll
related.
be the second time for Shockwave.
It'll be the second time for Shockwave, and in general, it'll be the first time ever we have 2 Russian teams.
That would be
At an
pretty
event.
intense. Well, we'll see, though. They definitely could still lose this out. Maybe trying to make an adjustment there over to the Ashe. That is something he picked away from the very first round onto the IQ. So trying to reverse things a little as the IQ doesn't seem to be doing enough for him because, well, it's not exactly telling you where the players are. Finding the gadgets isn't doing a lot because that's really the struggle, is finding the players. What surprises me here is they're not playing a Dokkaebi.
No.
Like, or a Lion. Like, you lost the Jackal, sure, not a big deal. Like, you have other replacements.
I mean, they lost the
play.
They literally banned the Jackal themselves, so
Yeah, it's just,
shooting yourself in the foot.
at this point, it's getting close to shooting themselves in the head. They just need to do something about this roam play.
Fair enough.
It's not working out. I mean, 4-0 right now after losing the last map 7-4. Vitality just not looking good at all right now, despite this being their map. And that's why I'm really just surprised to see them get so run over on this, because they've beat so many teams, including forZe, on this map during qualifiers.
Vitality currently being run over by the Russian, well, not machine, it's the
Steamroller at this point.
well, we can't call it Russian machine because that is trademarked by Flynn. If you're watching this, Rob, I
Empire.
love you. Number 2, it is trademarked for Flynn specifically when he casts Empire. So we can't actually use that word for them. We have to find something else to call forZe. So, ladies and gentlemen, and anything in between in chat, if you would like to find a better description for forZe,
The Russian mechs.
please send your suggestions to ESL Rainbow Six casters. We would like your suggestions at r6pl.com. Thank you very much.
Good luck. Bibu, though, I guess the switch up worked. Playing as Ashe here, he does manage to take out Kama, who's, like we mentioned earlier, been a bit of a thorn. Shangri hasn't really had a chance to shine too much on this, so maybe this could come down to Shangri versus Bibu. Here's some work coming out from his remote breaches as well. And most of the rest of forZe, though, still alive, but it's the goo mines that will be down now and suffer the most from that. Although I can imagine quite a few were out already.
At this point, around 5 of your goo mines are deployed. 5 out of the 8. That is. It's a lot of them, that's for sure. Oh, nice shot from Bibu. Just seems like he plays the Ashe and runs it well. The 2 heavy fraggers so far are taken away, but there's still Rask, and that's another one for Bibu. All you need to do is just put a drone in front of this Ashe, and Bibu will just frag out of his mind. And this is what he does best. IQ Ashe, whatever it may be. Spark is by the bedroom, though. So Vitality are trying to corner forZe in a better position for them. Again, you're running double hard breach with the Maverick, and the Thermite kind of forced to do it with that Hibana ban, but Vitality realized that they need to put at least 2 rounds here on the board. It's kind of a requirement at this point to feel good about your second half. A 4-2. Oh, no, what are you doing?
That?
Kaw just kind of picks out a 1 kill, finds him. Bibu finds the pistol play on Kaw. Bibu is 1 kill away from the ace, and Bibu, oh baby, turns around.
Just doing Ashe things.
Just Ashe things, but just Bibu things. The pistol in hand, the 1911 goes in forward. Man.
He really made the right 6th pick. To go from like just getting killed halfway to early in a round to acing.
Ashes to ashes and dust to dust.
Well, it's still far from a win though here for Vitality. 4-1. It's only going to do so much for you. And now they're going to be expecting it potentially, and is he going to 6 pick away from it? Or is he going to stick that and be like, you know what, that worked? It's not going to make much of a difference, but the sneak from Shangri. Instead, he's going to try and deny the drones. That will help at least stop the Ashe.
So good.
Combined with the Legion, a good combo here.
That's what you need. If you replay the same site, and then, which is exactly what's going to happen here. No, actually, no. They're playing downstairs, but you have to still defend from the top floor. Put one of your, how do you call them? What's the Mozzie ability?
Pests?
The pests, there you go. You put one of the pests downstairs, maybe by the kitchen door, and then 2 upstairs, exactly where you're going to be playing soon, possibly in Aviator game room, or at least one in bedroom. and you're good to go.
Now, to be fair, he did play this last time, and they won this site, so it's not like a new adaptation or anything like that. But at the same time, like, it is a good counter to the Ash because you know, like you said, they're droning Bibu in. Although a lot of Ash players also drone for themselves, but it's the drone play that helps the Ash play so aggressive because. As I've said many times before, if you're droning and no one's following the drone, the information you get is essentially useless for the most part because by the time you act on it, it's dead info. Outside of maybe spotting utility, you're not really going to spot anything consistent. And Rask going to spot Spark early. That's one of the hard breachers off the board. That's going to put a lot more work on Brede to open anything up. As they don't bring a Thatcher, and impacts are still going to be in play.
They have the Maverick, of course, no longer. No. And you wanted to use that to take away those bandit batteries. Bibu will move in by what we now would be calling the main stairs and come in from behind. If you can find one kill, well, that'd be great on Kama. He's got a Nitro Cell in hand, not something that Vitality were actually running on their edge. And you'll see one of the drones that have been already spotted and taken away by the Mozzie, forced Brede to shoot it himself. You see how the Mozzie set the pest right on the window. So when you hit it the first time, it's going to drop it down on the floor, and it's going to connect with your drone because you're not expecting anything through there. Nitro Cell to come up, will not connect with anyone, and a Shockwave to fall back.
Well, time is starting to dwindle here. A minute and a half, and Vitality are the ones with a man down. But of course, they know where the site's going to be in terms of the push here.
Oh,
and Kama.
Well done, that's one eliminated. And another for Shockwave. Sticky walks right into the Legion. Brede finds one on Kama, but he gets eliminated very quickly, and one more. The help of the smoke. Jaeger will take him away, and forZe will walk away with the first half, just running away with it.
Yeah, one round lost. That's it.
That's it. It required Vitality to put Bibu on an Ash, an Ace.
Yeah, the one round they win is the one that he aces. So, this is the one team, to be fair, that does play Living Room Library. So I'm not surprised. I was going to be surprised for a second. I was like, oh, that's right. This is one of the few things that they do. Much like this is the bathroom tellers. Now they're not going to play it now. It looks like they're 6 pick away from it. But I got to imagine if they last enough defensive rounds, it will come into the rotation. They're going to start an Aviator though. Trying to keep these interesting Maverick instead of the Thermite, rather than have both of them. Interesting choice. And they're not bringing a Thatcher or anything, so they're definitely counting on trying to make that work. But the difference is, too, they're bringing the Nomad, and Rask is going to be on that Ash. A Mute rather than a Bandit coming out from Brede. See if that works somewhat well. It is nice in that you could potentially get more walls as well as deny some drone holes or other choke points for drones. So it can give you some more flexibility than Bandit, and of course both those operators can carry C4s, so it's always nice to kind of have those, as we call them, side grades, right? Because Mute and Bandit are interesting sort of variations on similar ideas, much like Thermite and Habana or Sledge and Buck. Although Sledge and Buck are probably the two closest to each other.
Close buddies.
Homies.
Great term.
Maybe he's British Canadian and British.
You know what my favorite English word is? Perusing.
Perusing.
It's so perfect. It's like instead of in other languages saying, I am just looking around for me to potentially find something that I like, and then maybe I will ask you about more information regarding this item. So I'm just perusing. Okay, sure.
Well, browsing kind of does that too, but
yeah, but perusing is more general.
Okay. Well, it looks like Kama's perusing the astronomy there.
Yep. That's
looking for someone to buy. Rask not.
We'll see if the price is right for this one.
Yeah. They are getting a little bit slow on this attack here in terms of trying to find Vitality, but Vitality are also clumping up to an extent. But that's to set up for trades as well. So they want to make sure that if they start to lose members, that they manage to trade them onto forZe, because they've been very aggressive in some of their plays.
They're playing so hard here on the bottom floor of Vitality, but they haven't been able to find anyone just yet. And that's a beautiful place to set up your Nomad traps. Just means that rotations from Astronomy are going to be extra complicated, and what at least you'll be getting is notification on what's happening.
That's the thing, is that they're going to play downstairs, just trap them downstairs on the stairs. Do see some attempts at trying to peek things, but no one's down there except for Rask here, who's read into this, but that's going to give away your position, and down goes Spark. First fatality on Vitality. Oh, the monitors doing some work, although I think he's actually down on the other side. Not down, but I mean standing lower. There he is, and a freebie.
Oh, close to landing the second one, but Kama will at least take away Steegi.
Air jab's probably already set up completely too. I wasn't sure how many he had left, but I think he set up at least 2, if not 3.
I saw at least one of them. Not sure about anything else. If only we had something to show any of that. Call move into 90 as he has a drone as well to walk him in. And there's still one lifeline. It's a stun lifeline that is left in the Gizmot. I wonder if Call will use it to enter into the site. SMG-11 or the L85 here in the hands of Shangri, who's running the hollow, a bit more aggressive on the classic sledge. Kama staying alive is going to do a lot of work for him. If he can break away one player on the site, it can really mean huge, huge deal here for forZe. Unfortunately for Kama, he cannot fire through this bar, and although Bibu can be taken away in that position as well. Close up on the rotation to the B bomb site. Kama will come in to plant, but Hide will eliminate him as he goes for the wide peak. Shangri in, but shot from the back. One eliminated in the 1v1. Call is unable to take down the smoke that still had the shotgun in hand, and we'll watch a completely different part of the map just to be sure that there was nobody there.
There was nobody there.
Indeed. 2-5, and of course the big advantage is for forZe, but they were playing on the defensive side on Villa. Vitality now switched to the defense. I think this is the time for Vitality to rack up a lot of rounds, but only getting 1 on their attack is going to come back and bite them. They have gotten 2, as we mentioned. Things might be a bit different now.
Yeah, definitely not a great position to be in, and that's going to really be a struggle for them, as you said, because this is, I mean, the way that forZe are able to play this, they're still playing very smart, and Vitality aren't the same level of aggression on their defense that forZe was. And so ultimately, I'm not sure that they're going to be able to do a ton to really counter this. So it's going to be interesting because the advantage is that if we go into OT, Vitality do start on defense first. But they've got to get all the way there. They've got to win so many rounds in a row potentially at this point to get there. But if they do, at least they have that starting advantage of potentially playing defense twice on that OT. But I don't know. It's a long road to get there. And I'm not quite sure they can make it. I mean, I definitely see forZe taking at least 2 more rounds out of these next few. As, you know, Vitality won 1, but I don't know. I still think forZe could win 1 more than that, and that's all it takes to win the map and move forward to fighting Chaos. Nice capture of a drone there to start with for Spark, though. That will certainly help things. So now he'll be able to roam a little bit more free and use that to help his team out. And he's got a second drone now, so good target. He didn't actually set them up ahead of time, so they weren't necessarily expecting him. He just went around and actually captured them manually. So interesting choice.
And, I mean, that's pretty good. Now you get 2 drones. That's pretty huge, isn't it? Now you hold on to the bathroom. It's going to be a bit more difficult to take away the pest that's set in there. Got to be careful where you run it. I love just the music that plays around. It reminds me of, was it DE Italy? People that played the hostage map back in 1.6.
Oh, yeah.
It's some great music. When you go in, it's like, oh, why are my speakers blasting? Good old times for the OGs. That's not a Bleak reference, is it? No, it's not. No? Of course it's not. It never is. Call will drop down here on the Zofia as Shockwave is setting up his air jab downstairs, but Bibo will find a kill on Rask as he is playing downstairs all the way in the basement, and Shangri will finally find the pest and take it away. So good play here from Bebu, but Vitality are even setting up with the Mossy downstairs a Spark. I'm not sure if his Nitro Cell was used or not. Just heard an explosion.
1 air jab left in the pocket of Shockwave as well.
Cause burning utility away. That's the ADSs, but the Maestro should be able to move away, and there you go. Everything just being destroyed for free. Kama will find Qual though. Well done there on the Maverick. That's why you bring the Maverick. I mean, it's kind of speaks for itself, right? Shockwave's watching for rotations, but Bibu will dive on in. He still has Stiggy to hold, and you see the drones from Spark are just doing so much work for Vitality. That's the power of the Mozzie, especially in top-tier competitive play. 3v4 with goo mines everywhere, and a potential nitro for Spark. Not sure if he, again, still has one in his back pocket.
So much time left.
You can fire down, but you won't be able to take down Stiggy that easily. Spark from below. Here we are. That's the nitro I was talking about. Shangri and Ka will be put in a singular position and eliminated with 3D. Running up with the SMG-11. That's a quick peek. The expected position. It all takes a single bullet. Vitality, effective, very effective on this defense.
Yeah, and those drones, as you said, from the Mozzie, definitely helping on those roams. Just catching those manually, catching those two, made such a difference for the team, especially once they started to get man advantage. They could play a little more aggressively. But also, forZe kept walking into their angles. Just their inability to drone freely really cost them. And I gotta say, maybe they should even go with a Mute and Mozzie at this point, because their ability to play more advantageous angles that weren't prepared for by forZe definitely worked out. We will see, though, 6th pick over to IQ. And Dining Room, they're not going to go with Library, actually. But this is their third bomb site. This could be where they end up losing a round, and then that puts them on match point, and they cannot afford to lose another one after that. But you never know. Bibu definitely showing up for Steam, as well as Stiggy and Spark. Qual actually a little disappointingly low at the moment, but I imagine that he may get some time in as well, as there's at least this round and the next, not more. Kama and Rask, though, have been showing up, making up for Shangri actually being a bit low as well. Border was definitely more his map. So it's interesting to see it switch up kind of who's doing well on a particular map. Depends on the roles they play, the positions, things like that. Are they going to be running around setting things up again here? I mean, that's what we saw as well come out from the Mozzie on forZe, was opening up hatches, angles, things like that, setting up stuff from Shangri. So both the Mozzies taking advantage of that shotgun that they get in secondary utility. And that's the nice thing, is the more flexibility that Ubi's giving these operators in terms of getting them those secondary shotguns and things like that is definitely paying off in the flexibility that we see. And because destruction is, you know, Siege's big advantage. So the more that it can be played into, I think is fantastic.
Will the holes be used both ways in this round, though?
I think so, but it's a question of how many times they get used both ways and whose favor comes out on top.
With some dedication for Vitality to hold on to Astronomy, and Call will definitely try to limit that effect. But this is where, as forZe, you want to bring somebody from Aviator Game Room. It's just such an effective strategy. Shangri will lose his drone. It would have been propped up by a pest anyways, but this is mostly to watch the staircase. Qual will probably go back to his wavelength here and checking things around, and Kama will lose his drone. Shangri will go around, and he'll attempt to shoot the drone, but unfortunately it will be saved. Bibu will find Shockwave, so that's your flank. Now eliminated. Wonder where the Ash will be coming from. No, Rask is joining in for his teammates below. Shangri will pre-fire, but he's spotted by Spark, and Spark will win out that engagement. Vitality effective here on the defense so far.
Again, they're just not getting people out of these angles that they're working to their advantage. And
oh!
That's two in the bathroom down.
Oh man, Spark is even running the fragile box skin on his SMG, and he's just picking up forZe and throwing them in the box. One more will go the way of Stiggy. Nitro Cell had already been used. Stiggy's still not running a Nitro Cell on the Bandit, oddly enough, which means Ka is left alone. He's going to try to enter from the wine barrel. There you go.
At least he has a Claymore to cover his own flank.
Literally the entire map behind him.
Yeah, just put it on the map.
It's on my tab, man. Ka, he is going to alert Vitality to his position, and now you know what's going on. The Legion staying alive is pretty huge.
Yeah, he's going to have to full rotate now.
Spark is doing so. Qual is even tracking him. This is
just following him across the whole map. If Ka could see what was happening right now, he'd cry. This is just bad.
Is that a hole in the wall?
Yes.
Okay. It's so odd to see.
Yeah. It's an interesting spot.
I didn't even know you could open that. Call will turn in and fire onto an unsuspecting, or a suspecting victim for Vitality. Just trying to bait him out, but there's not a lot of time left, and doesn't really have the diffuser anyways, so what will he do? Nitro Cell thrown into him, but Bibu is just going to finish him off. Vitality, a flawless round for the Frenchman. They're close.
This is 3 in a row from them. Maybe they can make this happen here. They are getting close to that potential overtime point. So, I don't know. Maybe it is possible here. Vitality, as I said, this is a good map for them. But they did lose far too many rounds on attack. So, they've got a lot to make up for and see if forZe can adapt. But they are 1 round away from tying things up here. Setting that up for that overtime. There we go. forZe bringing the Lion. That is something that we should have seen from Vitality. I mean, at this point, bring the Lion and the Dokkaebi in a blitz and just storm through the map, finding where they're all at and take them down. Bibu getting the 6th pick over from one eye operator to another eye operator.
Aye, el capitaine.
Attackers need to locate and
Capitaine?
defuse as many bombs as they can.
Feline captain.
Oh man, I said it before, but I'll say it again. I found this Instagram account for a shop, a store that sells like cat attires, like small dog or cat kitten attires, and it's so cute. One is like a cat wearing a
Welcome
chef's
to
hat,
the internet.
a chef's hat, like all knitted, and it has like this red thing over the shoulder. It's so cute. I wish I had a cat, but I have Devin at home, so I don't know what to say.
You can buy me that outfit. I'll wear it.
You'd look great in it, honey.
Thank you.
But here we are. Vitality 1 round away from tying things out here against forZe. A 5-5 is what they're looking for, and potentially to walk away from it victorious. Vitality on their defense on this map. If you look at their score lines in even the past few weeks, it has been very impressive.
Yeah.
It's just forZe played against them with peaks. Vitality outplayed forZe in pure roam.
And that's the thing, is I think Vitality are a lot more contained and controlled, whereas forZe are kind of this wild, aggressive force that has worked fairly well. I mean, they took map number 1, they stormed through a lot of this map already, but Vitality are just playing a bit smarter in terms of their angle play and taking advantage of being on defense. And there's some drone play going on as well here, so they're playing a little bit slower here from forZe, trying to play smarter, and there's no Mozzie this time from Vitality to capture those drones or mute. So maybe this is going to be forZe's round. They've got the ability to drone better. They've got the Lion. This could work out. I see forZe potentially taking this. So Vitality, you're going to have to play a bit more turtle and just really communicate well to make sure that they're in the good positions and that they know when players are coming beforehand, because they're definitely going to be lacking some intel as well. They have the black eyes, but they traded those out for the evil eyes, so, or traded from the evil eyes is what I mean.
Stiggy's on the roam play downstairs by the piano hallway. And okay. It's a way to do it.
It's a little quieter, I guess.
Save a bullet.
Yeah. Maybe that bullet will be someone's undoing at some point.
It's got your name on it.
That's right.
It's like, oh, it was a fantastic moment from Baldwin in an old, I don't remember the name of the show. Basically like, oh, I have this bullet with my name on it because, you know, they say the bullet that will kill you has your name on it. So now I have it. I know it won't kill me. It's a fantastic old British show.
Genius. Well, these drones working out. You see these goo mines getting spotted on the screen as well.
I still yet to see that Lion do anything on the map here. And
Look,
forZe,
he's busy, okay? He's got a Claymore as well to be able to potentially set up. You see one right there also. So that's the thing is you Lion, you have all these Claymores to stop the rotations as well. I mean, imagine if they brought the gridlock also. Then roam play would just be like really shut down at this point.
now Rask in the same position we saw him before, but shouldn't be able to catch anybody off guard here. We should, technically speaking.
He definitely doesn't necessarily know where they're at. He just knows where they might be. Oh, the gun tip's going to show.
He shows it. He's going to go for the head, but he walks
There we
away.
go.
Oh, Spark.
The patience.
Pays off for Rask, that's for sure. There's 20 seconds left, and the grenade being thrown in the back. Same thing here from forZe, but both drones are being lost, and Sigi from behind finds a 2K. Now pre-fires into the doorway. The fuser's not being set just yet, as Call is watching out for a peek from the smoke here. Stiggy is somehow still alive. Kama will go for it. And from the peak, Call will reveal his position. It's close to losing the gunfight. Shockwave will take down Stiggy, and another one for Call on the Qual. Call with another one on the Bride, and last alive is Bibu. forZe looking to secure 6th round on the board. Bibu hears that he connected with one, and he will find the headshot on Call, but as he turns around, Kama will take him away in the play by the bar in the smoke. It was required, but the Zofia in the hallway did so much work to reverse the damage that Stiggy had already.
Yeah, Stiggy almost won them that round, but then, yeah, things fell apart quickly. Unfortunately, they just could not make the plays. And
I want to correct myself. I said, did I say Baldwin? It's Baldric.
okay, Baldwin. I was thinking, the Baldwin family. And
It's Baldric specifically.
all right.
It's a great show, by the way. Old British show. There you go.
Is it about dressing up cats?
I wish. That would be fantastic. I would pay money to watch that.
There you go.
ESL. We're just throwing ideas for you.
You want to cast the cat dress-up show?
Yes.
There you go. Aviator again. Deja vu here. Same lineups, except for the Vigil being snuck to. Ooh, getting spicy now. They are going to bring the Lion again, as it was somewhat effective. Didn't get used too early on, as you mentioned before. They were saving it more for the actual execute, and it did help a little bit in starting to try and lock them down, but I don't think it was like a huge game changer. I still feel like they'd almost be better off with the Dokkaebi because they get the smokes in addition, and then being able to actually hear where they're at. That means the people that are standing still are still going to be identified in their positions. So, I don't know. I feel like the Dokkaebi would be a better choice. But nonetheless, they did win the last round. That puts it on a match and map point here if they win this round or the next round. They have 2 rounds to play with. If they win this one or next one, it's over for Vitality. Their run is done. However, if Vitality take the next 2, it goes to overtime. Vitality start on defense, and we have a shot at map 3. But I don't know. forZe looking pretty good here still, despite losing quite a few of these attack rounds. They managed to win an attack round, what, 1 round earlier than Vitality did on their attacks, so I guess there's that. Bibu's bringing the mute now, though, so that is something that will help, again, deny those drones, because that's what happened last round, right? That's what I said, is Vitality weren't doing anything to deny drones, and so forZe won. Thankfully, they brought the mute this time. That is, I think, the most important factor, is that Mozzie earlier was really, it wasn't just capturing, it was denying a lot of their ability to cover the map. So hopefully for Vitality's sake, the mute jammer will work, as well as Spark playing on that Vigil, which already has worked as Rask falls. So
All right.
they, again, deny the drones.
Exactly, and how do you deny it? Literally, the operator built to completely be invisible to drones.
I still think the Mozzie might have been a better combo with him, because it's not just denying drones, it's also getting to control them, as he was doing pretty well.
Reloading my ammo.
We've been in perfect position to pop an E1D there, but
Yeah,
see the drone is still hovering there. It's not doing much.
It's charging up its batteries. Solar powered. That's why we only play on day maps. Just for long.
He's cracked the code, people.
I figured it out, the lore.
Heading out my drone.
All right, well, there's one getting popped a little bit early this time, 1.5 minutes in. That's actually pretty early compared to last time. That's just so he can enter safely, but Spark says that's not safe.
Oh, he's peeking around. He finds a 3rd one. Spark, insane control. So now he's going to be able to pick up Bibu. Low on HP, but it's still an extra body and a Nitro. Stiggy from behind takes down Shangri, and it's calling his own on the Zofia. Vitality want to secure this round, put themselves closer to overtime. It's again best of 3 system with OT.
Okay.
Call should be okay. Okay. I don't speak Korean, but I think that's English. Oh, Vigil peek around the corner.
Yes.
Paul knows what's going on. Here we go. He'll reveal his
repeat.
position. All of his bullets pretty much expended. He'll get shot even from... Where did that come from?
This is right out of the, it was the curving bullet that got JFK. It just curved around the corner. It just, magic bullet, as they say. It's just nuts. Like, Spark is playing this round so well. So, oh man. Poor COD just trapped here in the library. Maybe read a book at this point, because that's the only thing productive you're going to be able to do from here with 16 seconds left and no diffuser.
If he reads the book, he'll be reading himself and his entire team, as forZe have been telegraphed so well. Read like an open book by Vitality and the beautiful Vigil play, but forZe still have the advantage overall. This is a lost round by all means. At least it's cemented, but forZe still are 1 away from just completely winning it out. So it is really just up to forZe.
Yeah, this next
shut
round
this out.
definitely decides. Do we go to OT or do we go to the next match? That's a lot of pressure on Vitality. They literally have to win this round or it's over for them. But at the same time, They also, if they win this round, have much more of a shot to bring it back because, again, they start on defense on that OT. That Lion not really doing as much work this time. There we go. There's the Mozzie back. Although I got to say that visual was very effective for Spark. Definitely made a difference. Again, droning is forZe's strength and weakness when it's used against them. But Kama saying, we'll bring the greatest drone of all, the Mountain himself, to walk the map. And hard breachers are for suckers. We'll just walk on in.
Hard breachers are for suckers.
That's right.
Attackers need
We
to
don't need
locate
no
and defuse
thermite.
bombs.
Got the Mountain. We don't need no heart destruction.
Look at that, 12, 10, and 10.
We don't need no map control.
Oh, man. What have you started?
Hey, casters, leave this team alone.
Too bad we're not in Oregon because there's a classroom.
There's a study here.
That's true.
In astronomy.
There you go.
This is what happens when you let casters
If it
enjoy
turns
their
out if you
time.
play Dark Side of the Moon along with Siege, it perfectly syncs up.
Coincidence? I think not.
Oh no, the world is gone.
Bomb and defuse it.
Qual is taking it down. Qual here still sitting at 1 kill and Brede at 4, which is why you see the double digits from 3 members of Vitality who are doing, I'd say, the lion's share of the work, but Shockwave's online right now and he's not. So there's the old friendship is magic Monty. Definitely one of the best things to come out of the event is now all the Monties run that skin.
I like how the entirety of Twitch chat right now is just Doki spam.
Rask really struggling. He didn't want to finish opening the door completely too. That's an interesting strategy. Considering it's not like he was stealthier by doing that, but... Oh well. He's going to be looking for someone here, and they're going to have to drone pretty accurately this time because with the Mozzie in play,
Attackers have dropped the bomb diffuser.
it's definitely going to be hard to try and get an advantage. But they're already pushing sight with Lion.
Okay, this is a rush that works. It is going to be down, and Shangri is going for the diffuser plant. They're up close and personal here. One is dropped in the back. That's Shockwave, but diffuser is set. The Evil Eye was giving so much information. Oh, Bebu and Stiggy dive on it. They fight 2 kills off of it. Kama has to push himself back and use that pistol to save the day, and the patch is not in just yet for the Monty, reducing the shield hip fire. Stiggy's taking quite a bit of damage here, and oh, the nitro from Spark takes him out. This is going to be diffuser. Stiggy's just going to stick it, and he's going to do it! Vitality take round number 12, and we head to overtime.
I can't believe they pulled it off. That Monty, unfortunately, the plant spot was just too far in. He could not block it completely. That's something you never see. Someone counter diffusing standing up against a Monty. Just the way that it works at a little bit of range. Long arming it, essentially. So, Vitality on that first defensive round here.
Long arming it, but staying on top.
Yep. Trophy. They're going to go with just winning that last time. They're not going to go with Aviator, which, to be fair, they didn't do great on, so that second time, that's the site that they lost. So both teams only winning 1 attack round does not bode well for forZe to stop map number 3 at this point. Of course, not going to stick on that. And the 6th pick from the Valkyrie to the Valkyrie. But here comes the Maverick back. No Monty. Didn't want to try that again. That did not work out for them. I mean, all that worked was the Ash Rush out of that. But it was a nice try. That's what happens when you don't kill enough people first. Maybe with 14 up there. I'm going to try and put the rest of his team to shame at this point. But Spark and Stiggy definitely have been showing up. Bibu, Spark, and Brede have been playing together for a long time. But Stiggy's the newest member of the team, and you can see why they signed him. Definitely shows up for his team.
Honestly, just Stiggy's been running very well with this team, and I really want to give it to Vitality as a team in general that they've thrown away the old style of we will only play in French and only have French teams forever and ever. It has done wonders to a team like LFO and will continue to be the case for Vitality, I hope, in the future.
Well,
there's talent to scout elsewhere, and it doesn't have to be from the same country. You have to find what really fits you.
Absolutely. Unfortunately, Vitality are not bringing any drone denial this time, which, I don't know, based off the last, a lot of the rounds that they won, seem to be an important factor. So that could be a big mistake because forZe are still bringing that Lion, which did help them get that plant down last time. I can't imagine they're going to go for the same rush, but at the same time, Rask is still probably going to play fairly aggressive to try and get in, get some intel. Does, of course, know someone's going to be playing in astronomy behind the desk because that's what pretty much everyone does. And that's why you see the ADS there as well. Semi are also trying to deal with that evil eye, yeah.
Yeah, it's just going to sit there and just give info the entire time. Not really worried about much from the bathroom if you have somebody constantly watching it most of the time.
Well, thankfully, as in Siege, just like in real life, no cameras allowed in the bathroom.
E1D is going to get used, and forZe are not rushing in this time around. Rask will pre-fire in the back, and well done onto Qual, destroying also the majority of that desk, so it allows Rask to go for a much easier shot.
Good strategy there. And now they're going to be getting set up for this push here from Astronomy. Potentially, they're getting a little slowed down, and the smoke's certainly not helping with it, but they have so much time for the first smoke to be popped at about 1.5 minutes here. That's really going to help Claymores to stop runouts, but honestly, jump outs and runouts have not been Vitality's MO here. They've just been playing a good roam game.
And at least Rask will be able to spot the Jaeger Bibu downstairs. I really hope that this round does not, or this so far does not end in Vitality losing after their comeback, at least for them. E1D is going to be popped, and forZe have already penetrated on the site. The entire thing is pretty much open, and A can be planted. However, you have to deal with 2 players on the site. Sigi, the flick to find Rask, and Bride with another on a Shangri. Kama is unable to find anybody in the back. He'll get taken down half HP. Vitality somehow, the resurgence.
Certainly have made quite the comeback again. Like you said, pretty defensive-sided, so not a huge surprise there. And Vitality with the advantage on that, they just have to make sure to capitalize on that advantage, and then they just win off sheer math at that point, because the most it can go is 2-8-7. So forZe definitely have to make sure they win that next round, of course, to keep it going, but not looking like they're going to be able to pull this one off, but they're going to try.
Bibu at least finding Shockwave, and another one for Ka, but Bibu is still alive, and he takes him away. Kama is left on his own, and the fuser is in his hand, so he can go for it. Vitality are going to have to time this right, and should be able to find it easily. Spark turning around the angle as well as Bibu at the same time, and they find the head of Kama. Can't really watch both angles at the same time now, can he? And that's all it took. Vitality will take round number 1 on overtime.
Well, maybe that map 3 coming after all. Certainly looking like it. forZe, though, gotta imagine probably win this defense. The attacks from both teams have been so weak. But the problem for them is they cannot do anything at this point that guarantees that they win. Because once it switches sides, well, yeah. For those of you who aren't familiar with the way the OT works versus the regular, of course, we switch sides every round, as opposed to during the regulation time, where those first 12 rounds, we only switch at the half, at the 6.
And technically, with 3 rounds, the half is... No, midway through one round, it would just switch to the other side.
Attackers need to locate and defuse as many bombs
Is
as
this
they
3
can.
rounds? No. Okay.
Okay.
Whoosh.
I get you now. I get you.
Thank you very much. So, now the setup from forZe on AVG, a site that they have worked on fairly effectively, but it's all off of denying Vitality any sort of, how do you say, beachhead for entry.
Maybe they'll be able to get in and take control of study properly this time, because that seems to have been a struggle for them. They keep getting peeked out on, or just play from the other side of 90 by the stairs.
forZe know it. If they peek them on spawn right now, and they find a kill, that is going to put Vitality on a bit of a back foot.
Especially if it's Bibu or Stiggy or Spark.
Yeah, definitely tilt them quite hard. And it is a strategy.
Bibu hoping to get up to that 20.
Same strategy here from Shangri potentially. No, he's going to fall back. So forZe are going to play it passive for first round, pretty much.
I think they're just kind of playing a little bit of mind games. It's not going to stay passive, let's be honest. They do have to play careful, though, because, of course, if they don't win this round, it's over for this map, and then they have to win on Clubhouse, which slightly favors Vitality as well. They really need to shut them down here.
Tossing a stun grenade.
And so Spark rotating around to support Qual. as he will be needed to open up a few holes in the wall from the study itself down into Aviator Games Room. Sticking downstairs, watching for any plays and rotations from the bottom floor through those main stairs, but no one will be found this time. There's a player in the hallway, and you might want to confirm that with a drone. You see Shockwave playing by the stairs. So many goo mines on the floor, and Rask will find Steegi. No drone to support him here. He's just setting up to help his teammate Shockwave on the Legion again on those main stairs. And now Rask turns around and will hold on to the walk-in closet. They shoot closet there. Spark turns around as well and confirms the death of Shangri. Squall will take him away, and Qual is another one under Shockwave. There's still a third one, the Jaeger here of Rask, but he's not moved just yet. Qual, another one, the triple kill on 90. Vitality with 4v2. Qual, the run out in a 90, finds the headshot. Finally one eliminated, but Bibu finding Rask focused so much on the drone. At least it's a 3v1, and Bibu is solo on HP. There's a lot of time left here for Vitality to try to bring this back, but Hide finds Caw and takes him away. Vitality win round number 2. And ladies and gentlemen, we are going to map 3.
Well, good comeback from Vitality, and that's going to be encouraging going into the next map. Being defensive-sided as well, I'm not sure who starts on what side. It might just be a coin flip for that.
It was a 5-1 advantage for forZe, and then it was brought back to an 8-6 victory.
Yeah.
7 rounds for Vitality 1 with only 1 for forZe. The attacking side of the Russian team just was not working out at all.
It's their aggressive defenses that really are paying off the most on both maps, really. So, again, that's going to be something that to watch out for on Clubhouse, I think, is going to be a big factor. Is are they going to be doing jump outs? Are they going to be making some crazy plays? They still might need that IQ to spot cameras for that, but I don't know. On Border, they didn't even seem to need the Valkyrie cams to make those plays.
Yeah, and right now you're kind of predicting the operator bans on the defensive side because we have the Echo and the Mira that are banned almost exclusively by Vitality and forZe respectively. But I wonder, what is it going to be?
Yeah, there was definitely some good plays on this map here. Shangri definitely, that was his best play of the map for sure. Kama, though, definitely started showing up, and this was the round where he did it. That the Legion overall just being great on defense. We didn't see as much from it from Vitality, but it certainly worked out for forZe a lot. Rask, definitely a force to be reckoned with overall, like the Ash Jaeger main for the team, making a lot of plays. He made some on Ash as well, but ultimately they weren't for naught as the rest of his team just couldn't pick it up on the attack, and so it was kind of a little bit of a one-man show on attack from Rask.
Steegi with a great nade there, but Rask was just kind of running around the entire time. Rask is the equivalent of Bibu for forZe on the defense, because he was running around on the Jaeger, doing flank work, great flank work. But really, the Mozzie play was very important here from Vitality. A few rounds, they're able to capture so many drones as well that helped them execute fantastic roam play with the Vigil. In general, there was a really, really tight game between the two teams, and we're not really expecting forZe to do so much work on their defensive side. But again, this is Villa. Vitality just kind of bringing it back on their defense again.
Yeah. Well, some great plays overall, though. This was definitely a good back-and-forth map. As I said, it was a map that was better for Vitality, but decent for both teams, and so I could see why forZe let it through, but it did ultimately come back to haunt them. There are better maps, of course, they could have played against Vitality on, but the thing is, that was the thing with the ban, pick system. They could only ban one map. So they bet on Bank being the map they didn't want to deal with, but at the end of the day, Villa ended up being it, and that's the difficulty. Once they get a pick without you getting 2 bans first.
That's best of 3. I know we're all used to best of 1 at this point with Pro League, but with BO3, this is something you will have to deal with. But map 3 of our first matchup of the evening is coming up right after the break. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Map number 3 in our first game of the evening is about to start. We're going to be playing on a Clubhouse here between Vitality and forZe. Great map 1, but it went to forZe. Map 2 on Villa was
Much closer.
so close. It was such a comeback. 5-1 for forZe on their defensive side. Switch at the half, and Vitality are able to take it to OT and win 8-6.
That's definitely going to be interesting to see, again, how this goes out on Clubhouse. It is a decent map for both teams, more so for Vitality.
Yep.
And we did see that work out for them on Villa, despite it being as close as it was. We will, though, have, I believe, if I saw correctly, forZe on the defense first. If that's the case, is again, as you mentioned earlier, about Villa being defensive sided map, Clubhouse definitely is as well.
Second most defensive sided map in the pool.
So depending on how the operator bans go down, that could be more or less true. Of course, if for some reason, say they don't ban hard breachers or Thatcher, then maybe it won't be as defensive sided, but
please
it's
don't do
certainly
the
a
LATAM
possibility.
card, please. I want to just mention one thing. forZe played Vitality on July 16th, only a few days ago. They played Clubhouse, and forZe won it 7-3. It was the map that they required. Now, on that map, Vitality started on defense first, but at the half, they stood at 3-3. So you look at it and you're like, all right.
Huh?
This is... I mean, forZe had 3 rounds in their attack on Clubhouse. That's pretty darn sweet. The Capitao and the Maverick were banned, as well as the Mira and the Echo. So in general, it was just kind of a normal game on Clubhouse. And in that situation, forZe plowed through things on the defense. So Vitality had to work on their attacking side. If you look at Villa and the way it was run as well, I'm expecting a similar way where, all right, you put a lot of rounds on the defense and then you switch around.
And we know they
Let's
can
hope.
win those attack rounds too. So you never know. It's a possibility here. But obviously, forZe were feeling comfortable enough to leave it on the board to be played here.
So it's up to Vitality maybe to bring it back because, again, you look at their last head-to-head a few days ago, and it was won by forZe. We're getting ready to head into the game, as here we are. We're on Clubhouse, our final map, this best-of-3 series. Remember, the stakes at hand are very clear. You win this match, you play Chaos, you beat Chaos, you're going to the Raleigh Major, and you at least put around $1,000 in your pocket.
I love how the reward for winning this match is an even harder one.
Yeah, I mean, that's what you get for being in the bottom side of the bracket, right?
It is. Maverick the first to go. That is the hard breacher. Will we see a second one? Would be interesting. Maybe a Capitao instead. There that is. Allows you to defend the garage a bit better, so you don't have to worry about getting firebolted on the rafters the same way. Very important. Now the defense. I can imagine that it could just be the Echo Mirror as usual, but could add some variety for fun here, but not so far. Not a surprise. Echo definitely something Vitality does not want to be dealing with for quite some time now. And here comes probably that Mirror ban. Nothing too crazy. Just the usual. A lot of this stuff really about setting up to be better in your defensive posture so you can play a little bit more effectively. I wonder if we might see some Kaid played on this map, though, something we didn't really see much earlier. We will, again, start with the forZe on the defense, as we were just saying. Can imagine we might see a 6th pick come out, though, just to trick things. Church going to be the starting site. So... Now, the Capitao being banned actually helps out on 2 areas of this, of course, because you can help with cash defense in terms of the rafters, but also the minibar in Church is helped by not having the Capitao in play as well, because then you're not going to get firebolted behind it. Shangri might go for the 6th pick. Nope, just took some time to confirm. And he was thinking about it. Might have been changing his loadout, actually. So I'm not sure if he played any bandit earlier, so he might have needed to shift what he had for his loadout. Oh, maybe over to the barbed wire. I just missed what he had. Hopefully he's just not running the barbed wire like Qual was. That just seems like a missed opportunity, C4 being so strong in Pro League as it is. We will see Qual on the Buck and not a sledge this time. And they're going for the double hard breach with the Thatcher, which is also important for, well, both sides really, the Church and the Cash, really even Jim. Like the hard breacher is super important on this map in general for the attack. And with this being a defensive sided map, you need any kind of advantage you can in terms of pinching and make sure that you have adequate pressure on them. So I can't imagine the attack lineup's going to change too much throughout this match, just like the previous ones.
Yep. Now, Evil Eye, yeah, you want to get up here. And this Evil Eye covers the drop from the kitchen hatch. So, see, this is why the wall is so open in the hallway to cover kitchen. I've spent hours going through Evil Eye positions on this map, and it does get a bit obsessive, I have to say. But the amount of spots that you have for Evil Eyes give you tons of information that keeps them in a relatively safe spot. There's so many of them. It's just there's many.
There's many.
I will just keep it at that.
Yeah, he's about to get started. You got to be careful here.
Yeah, if there's two things that I can talk about for ages, it's Mira setups and Evil Eye setups, and they're just.
What he's saying is he likes to look at things.
Yes, it's almost as if I'm an optometrist as well.
Is that why you getting that? Because you couldn't set up your Evil Eyes or Black Mirrors in real life?
Yes, that's exactly how it works. So, Spark joining on in. There's nobody peeking through this staircase, so it's all up to Qual to do all the work that he wants. forZe might have a Nitro Cell. Marcio, can we check the Bandit for a moment? He is running a Nitro Cell.
Good. That might have been that change-up that he was making.
That's the only Nitro Cell, however, that forZe has, so he might be throwing it up through the hatch here in bar. Bride is going to use it here. Remember, you don't have the Maverick, so you're going to be relying on the Habana of Stiggy doing the work. And Stiggy loves Habana so much. Operator that really can do a lot. You can do the hard breach and then switch. You have two good guns that you can use between the Bearing 9 and Type 89. You can do a ton of fragging power. Shangri is setting up his bandit charges, but I like the reverse reinforcements from the outside in on Church Wall. It's so difficult to nade over them, and Rask will find Bride actually. All right, Thermite taken away, but that's an inconsequential pick in the grand scheme of things.
I mean, that means Church Wall stays safe, but that doesn't necessarily look like the take they're going for anyway.
No, he already used his Thermite charges, both of them.
Both of them,
to open up the hatches, yeah. Oddly enough, yeah, grenade's going to be thrown in the back, and oh man, the Jaeger takes so much damage, barely alive here. He'll be able to run away for just a moment, but there's nobody to dock him back up as Monsieur Kateb is nowhere to be found.
Well, they are going to start opening up some of that Church Wall with Habana, actually, but Bibu finds Shangri in the meantime, and Rask still low on health as well as Shockwave, so this could definitely go Vitality's favor, but 20 seconds left to work with.
This is where 20 seconds turn into 30 years in Vitality time. More damage done to Kaw as Stiggy will have to run on in. Qual will find Rask as Kama peeks in with the support of Kaw on the smoke. They've pretty much let go of the site itself. Qual will move in and find one, but Kaw on the peak against Stiggy. Pre-fire from Kama will find a double kill on the round. Taken for forZe. Very smart from Kama to rotate back and play up close.
You can't even see him on that camera. We can see why they didn't catch it.
Yeah.
Definitely well played there. That was the play that saved that round, because that round was basically lost by forZe at that point had he not made that play. But also good on Vitality getting some of those early picks, getting map control decently swiftly. You know, they have the top 2 floors within the first minute, which is what you need to do, because if you're taking longer than that to clear the first 2 floors, that needs to be some picks that you're getting in order to make that worthwhile. They're going to go to cash, though, now that they have successfully defended Church. And so no surprise in that rotation, although occasionally teams will want to try Jim a little bit. But if they're successful, as they might be here, we will see Jim next, likely. Although I would love to see a team with a successful bar defense. That would be fantastic. I love when just the off sites can be successfully defended. And I mean, teams like Dark Zero, for example, are an example of a team that will try things like that. And Vitality as well, like I said, they've had some library defenses, for example, on Villa, but they didn't end up doing it this last time, which was unfortunate. I wanted to see how that would work out for them. But maybe that would have been too risky of a play, and we wouldn't be seeing a map 3 after all. Shockwave with his barbed wire rather than a deployable shield. They're setting up for the impact tricking as well. They want to make sure that they can't get control underneath, because you really don't want people opening up that angle onto the server window, because that is definitely a very important angle. As people on the rafters eventually usually have to rotate back, and you don't want to be caught on that rotate.
No.
Along with anyone trying to rotate out to the rafters as well.
That's why a lot of times you'll see a dock praying in that position, and it just makes a lot of sense.
You just heal up rather than try and leave.
Exactly. Just pure survival.
Tank it.
Yeah, basically. I mean,
Well, they're trying to deny the impact tricking. They open up a bunch of the wall so the impact doesn't work. Let's see if it works here. This is the trick. So you open up a bunch of that wall so that the splash damage from the impact doesn't hit, but it didn't work. So it was a nice try.
That's a very odd way of trying things.
It's a thing that works. It's just
Weird
it's
that
not
it does.
always consistent. So it is unfortunate that did not work out, but I appreciate that they actually tried to make that happen. And that, of course, only works if you reinforce it from the inside. If you reinforce it from the outside, there's not a soft wall to destroy for that.
I mean, you can't reinforce it on the outside.
Yeah, of course. I'm just saying in general, like.
Spitballing.
Well, I mean in general in other areas and
Yes.
other maps, because this is not like necessarily a trick for Clubhouse specifically. Nope, they did manage to get the work done. So, see if they can actually manage to take control of Lounge here. They're bringing a Thatcher, so it shouldn't be a problem here to take this out now that the batteries have got splashed away. He still has 3 left, but of course it's a huge risk to be doing that, so they will not bother. So Vitality doing a good job. Took them a minute and a half, but they got the job done. They got the garage open on the garage doors. They got the wall open onto the servers.
Did they open the garage door?
Well, it was with the thermite. Oh, no, I'm sorry, they lost that. What am I saying? The opposite of that. So they got the important thing open, though, which is this. And I imagine the Hibana will get the angle open on the other garage wall.
The Hibana already opened up a walk-in.
Yeah, they did. So they got the lower part. That's what I was thinking of, just not with the thermite. But Bibu takes out Shockwave, and that's an important kill. Now Raptors are clear. They can push in, start take control, and actually pinch from 3 different sides. But Rask is going to be trying to do something about that. Calm in the meantime, at least trying to hold the stairs.
Shangri as well, awaiting any information from his teammates to dive on out from construction and find someone in the ingress into a garage. Drones are being ferried on in here by Vitality. This one is lost, but Qual will find a kill. Eliminating the Jaeger finally before he can do any work. And a grenade from Qual. One will connect. The second thrown in the back and will even do a bit more damage. Stigi will finish off Call. Nitro Cell thrown in the back and will not hit. Idea has disconnected, but doesn't really matter at this point in time. Shangri goes for the pre-fire. He hits a few bullets in the back, but it leaves leaves all 4 alive here for Vitality. Not a great position to be in if you're forZe, that's for sure. Flashbang thrown around the side in construction as Shangri is completely flashed out. And one being staggered, being thrown into the bandit, a pre-peek, and Stigi with a bearing 9 finishes off Shangri, and we're awaiting information here to go for a rehost.
Yeah, should be. We'll get that rehost going here, and hopefully won't take Brigade too long. You guys managed to get in a timely manner last time. Yes. So I imagine he might just be having internet trouble right now.
He got his job done, though, that's for sure. Yeah. Thermite opening up the walls. It's... I don't want to use the term too much, but it's interesting to see how the thermite charge on the garage was destroyed by the impact, because you don't really see impact tricking on garage that often anymore.
No, I mean it's dangerous because you're exposed to the doorway. Like for example, some people will play it with a deployable shield and kind of hang out over there, hang out behind that sort of like a toolbox, table sort of thing. But it's risky. But you saw he was actually playing a long diagonal angle, and actually I think that's part of what made it work was the angle that he used. But I don't know. You'd have to kind of go in and do a lot of testing and see if the angle of impact actually makes a difference on it. But that is.
Depends on when you put the thermite charge on the other side as well. So you have to have like multiple things going your way to hit it correctly. Well,
that's the thing is if you know how they're going to be impact tricking, you can do the proper testing in a custom game, figure out exactly how to deny it. But that's what I love with this is the play and counterplay in this game. For example, just the dynamic of bandit tricking and the way it requires a team effort to do. I mean, it was a good thing they took grenades away from thermite because that was kind of more or less of a team effort at one point, and there's so few grenades left just in the hands of a lot of operators. But it's really interesting to see the impact tricking get kind of shaped over time. And this is a map that had a huge amount of impact tricking, especially when it was doable on the gym. So I feel like there's still like some small way to do it on the gym, but it's very rare to pull it off.
You can throw it on the drone hole, but nobody really puts the thermite charge in that position anymore.
One way you can deny the without an impact though on the garage that we saw from EG once is the Maestro cam at the drone hole on the opposite side in the strip club there.
Yes, and that's actually a really cool setup to have. There's a lot of times where back in the day you'd only use a Valkyrie camera in the position to give you info if you want to dive out. Yeah. But having a Maestro camera allows you to deny hard breach as well. So
it's a lot safer than trying to impact from garage. It's just rarely done.
The difficult part is trying to set up the Maestro cam in the correct position. Yeah. because if you set it too far back, then it's going to block your line of sight because you won't be able to see through the drone hole. Too far forward, it'll be easily spottable, but it actually blocks you through the
That's
white
what
van.
custom games are for, though.
Exactly.
Practice that stuff.
That's why you practice. all
Luckily, you could pick that back up and continue to practice it, so it's not something that is like you have to restart
a
your
million
custom game. And
Valkyrie cameras just keep shucking the entire time.
I do wish we had that, though, the ability to kind of custom where, like, I think custom game could use a few more tweaks. Same with Terrorist Hunt, but
Yep.
we'll get there eventually. In the meantime, though, we are still waiting on most of Vitality to get back in the lobby. We got forZe ready. They're rearing to try and finish this out as quickly as they can, but
Yeah, I mean, the faster you finish this, the faster you can get to the next game against Chaos.
You don't want to use all of your stamina on this match because Chaos is not going to be any slouch. And keep in mind, when forZe lost to Chaos, it was a 2-0, not a 2-1. So Chaos have shown they can really kind of put a good beating on forZe. So forZe need all the energy they can muster.
Chaos, I remember a year and a half ago when they really got into Pro League and started playing before the Atlantic City Finals of Season 8, or Season 7, excuse me. Completely different team than how they are now, and it's just that practice over time.
They've really strengthened the team.
Back then, everybody was saying, you know, Chaos got in. It's such a shame. Secret was taken away because of that from Pro League.
Secret will be at Raleigh, though.
Look at where we're at now.
That's what I'm looking to see. Secret and Raleigh, maybe a dark horse there, just because of what they showed in Vegas. Definitely had a lot of potential as a team to really step things up again. I think maybe they realized some of the mistakes that they made that lost them their spot in Pro League to begin with, and maybe we'll see a bit of a revenge if Chaos goes, which so far there's definitely a good chance that Chaos does go, but who knows? Secret already guaranteed their spot there, so it should be interesting to see. Raleigh's definitely going to be a cracking event, and this, of course, why we're here today, to help make sure that it's going to be very competitive.
A reminder again, since we're still waiting for everybody from Vitality to line up and get ready for the game. We have EU today in just a few hours from now. So if we're looking at this, it's around 5.5 hours from now. We're starting the APAC LAN from Sydney. So it's 2 a.m. our time here, CEST in Poland. And what is it? They finish. They start around 2 a.m. They will finish around 8 a.m. our time. So
basically, the easy way to remember is the same start time as NA than normally.
Yes, actually.
So keep that in mind. So if you're confused about all the different time zones, just go off of the NA schedule for tonight.
Yes. If only we switched to UTC so we don't have to use all of this stuff.
It would still mess me up, I'll be honest. I would still
be
just as
2 a.m. is 2 a.m. Like, 2 is 2 everywhere in the world. So you don't have to think.
Plus, right? Like plus minus?
No, UTC is universal time.
Yeah, but I thought the idea was
no
like
plus minus.
UTC plus and minus. That's what we're doing right now, right?
No, this is GMT.
Okay.
GMT is plus minus. True, yeah. UTC is a universal time where you say, oh, I see you at 1400. 1400 is the same all across the world, which is great.
But then it would be like, wouldn't that mess with daytime and nighttime places?
Does daytime and nighttime follow the clock, or does the clock follow that?
Oh, we're checking.
So it doesn't matter. So it doesn't matter. The trains, and that sort of transport changed time and added these time zones as we see them now. I don't see why with our current schedules we don't. Okay.
Milos for president, 2020.
Hindsight is 2020. I could tell that much. So yeah, we are
waiting on 2 more.
Yes, we are filling in the meantime. By the way, if you did not know, we have to be super obvious because some people, Mr. 200 IQ in chat room, does not understand that we do not control this.
You just remember this. If at any point we could press a button to start the game, we would always press it as soon as possible.
Trust me.
Yeah.
Like we wanna get in the game as much as you do.
Yeah.
Quite.
I'm not sure what the holdup is though, because it's not just Brede that we're waiting on.
Yeah.
Looks like we're waiting on at least one more qual. So hopefully it's not a combined internet issue with things like that. Hopefully there's not a bigger problem happening here, but they also have to deal with restarting wired mouse and things like that. Things that sometimes you can run into hitches with. May need to do a full computer restart if you're having problems with it. So those things can cause extra delays. Might not even be an internet issue. Could have been a game crash that leads to reboots and so on and so forth. It's complicated, but it's what we do to make sure that there's no cheating and things like that. So very important things.
Maybe Bride's cat came in and took out something.
Because he was dressed up and he was getting revenge. Is that costume that you saw?
The cat in the hat.
Yeah, he's causing trouble. That cat in the hat, thing 1 and thing 2 in there.
Yeah.
Causing trouble.
We are awaiting, and we're just going to go to a break. I know, we would love to ramble.
Go to the bathroom, get a drink, get a snack, because you could be in for the long haul. This is probably going to be close, but we'll be right back.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Bride has not reconnected and is having internet issues.
He got Thatchered. It's unfortunate.
Usually it's a good thing for him because he plays Thermite.
Yeah. Well, apparently this time he didn't coordinate well with his teammate, and
That's not a lie, though, by the way. He's
maybe
not
he
in yet.
needs to bandit trick his internet. Boy, I don't know. Terrible jokes. Anyways, we are still waiting for him, unfortunately. It's not good because obviously this is a lot on the line. This is the third map. They cannot afford to lose this because they've worked very hard to get this spot, and Vitality will definitely be a good candidate if they go. But they, of course, even if they make it through this match, they'd still have to play against Chaos, and Bride's internet would have to last through that. So even if he just gets a temporary better internet, that won't be enough to get them to Raleigh. I'm not sure if they would
Turn
allow
up the
to sub.
4G, my man.
Yeah, they just play over a cell phone. It's like 900 ping.
Where's Liliun? Is she back from California?
Well, maybe they can roll out 5G out there real quick.
Well, it's France. They already have that.
Well, there you go then.
France are like super
Easy.
advanced technologically.
So there you go. That's all he needs. That's the problem, is he didn't have that 5G set up. But it was a decent start. They did manage to win one of the 2 attack rounds already. So that's pretty good for Vitality. Hopefully this doesn't actually cool them down. Like, you win a round, and then all of a sudden you've got to wait.
Yep.
You get pretty cooled down. So
it really affects you negatively. That's the case, at least more often than not. So
it also gives time for forZe to figure out what they did wrong in that attack round and then go back to cash again with a better plan.
yeah, because now we're tied. That defense downstairs in Church was really odd. The way that forZe are able to claw it back by just positioning the Legion correctly. 2 players just moving in the hallway is usually a recipe for disaster.
Yeah.
But somehow it worked because Vitality were just not expecting it. This is the downside, of course, of attacking in the last 15 seconds.
Yeah. I mean, forZe are really good at playing unpredictable, but obviously they played this map before, and so they know how they play, and it's going to be difficult for forZe to be as surprising outside of that round. But
we're waiting.
Yep.
We're waiting for Bride. He has a few more minutes to go. So let's hope that he's back in the game and then we can get started as soon as possible. So we bid you adieu for another time, and hopefully we'll see you in a few moments back with this matchup. You want it more than you do. Trust me about that.
yeah. See you soon.
Welcome back, everyone. We're still awaiting our admin decision here as BRIDE is not in the lobby just yet. So we should have that in the next under a minute or so, and we'll tell you. Right now it looks like BRIDE not reconnecting means that Vitality lose.
Yeah, a forfeit at this point. Definitely a big bummer after all they've worked for. I mean, that would be really good for forZe, not just because they win, but also because they could stay a little fresher in terms of not having to play through this map to be able to get to Chaos. But either way, it'll still have to happen very quickly. I think they'll probably get a short break and then go into that match. If that's what ends up happening here, of course,
right
there's
now,
still a chance.
Right now, what we have is if Vitality officially have to forfeit this game, then forZe just get a break, and then we go to Chaos game.
It's almost unfortunate we don't have a host country invite for Vitality to be like, sorry about your internet.
It already happened at Invitational.
Yeah, so either way, it is unfortunate that it came down to this potentially. There's still a chance he could get in there, but even if his internet comes back up, it might be difficult to get back in quickly. So, but that's the thing. We don't want to delay this game indefinitely. This needs to get done one way or another.
Okay, minute's over. We're expecting decision from the admin anytime now.
Yeah, obviously not our call. What happens? It's up to the admin.
Literally nothing. Like, we literally do nothing except for talk over the game.
Thanks for demeaning our job.
It doesn't mean that what we do is difficult. It just means that we don't do much outside of it.
Okay. Eat, breathe, sleep. Try and do
No, nobody does any of that. Not with our current schedule, my friend.
That's true.
So,
especially this weekend.
Yeah, even the lobby is about to expire, which means we've been in this custom game for a while now.
There's only like 20 seconds or so before the lobby's just like, you guys are done, so So yeah, we're just waiting on the admin decision.
I've never seen a lobby expire in like an official match. So I want to see this. Okay, ready? Chat, count at 0. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It's expired.
And that's it. Forfeit for Vitality.